Excited, Ryan. We'll see what the
things.
Celtics
One,
do.
Cooper has a tremendous work
We'll see what the Celtics
Two,
do.
he's very
Yeah,
coachable.
we'll see.
And then three,
Oh, there we
I
go.
think his game really
There's Cooper
transcends into the
Flag.
NBA with his length, his size,
Yeah.
and his versatility.
We are live,
and
guys.
I think his
Welcome to
competitiveness. I don't think he's going to be happy being
NBA
successful.
draft.
I think he's going to want to
Well,
be a
we'll put the
champion.
video
I think he's
here.
going to want to be a top 5 guy. And I see him 18-7-7, 21-8-8. 24, 9,
Celtics are officially, Ryan, they're the number 28th.
All right, Coach Boyle, well, thank you so much for your time. Enjoy tonight. Another great night on the draft night for you.
Thank you very much.
All right, guys, back upstairs.
Monica, Coach Boyle, thank you so very much. Next, we will formally meet the green room invitees of the class of 2025. We'll be right back.
I'm going to remove it for now because, hold on. Wait, if I mute it, can the stream hear it?
I don't know. I haven't done this in a while.
I'm not doing commercials, Ryan, because they usually get copyrighted on them.
Okay.
So I'm not doing that today. Let's see. Let me see if
That's why they're on a little bit. Oh, jeez.
Why did I just hear echo?
That was me.
Oh, you went on the stream?
Yeah, just make sure it was working. It's working.
It says Jaylen Brown may be traded.
They're talking about Derek White getting traded too.
I don't think they'll trade Derek White. I doubt it. It's more likely Brown's going to get traded. Ryan, the Celtics are looking at getting Stephon Castle for Brown and their second pick of the draft. A good trade.
Yeah.
And they would get a power forward too in advance. Oh, I got bad news, Ryan. John Collins is not going to the Celtics. He is staying with the Jazz. So he's not going anywhere.
And he'll have fun on that team. That failing team, the Dumps. Why is it?
I guess my TV's ahead.
And just watch it on the stream instead. It's fine, I don't care. I'm not even interested in this draft anyway, except for the Celtics.
You don't have it on your TV anymore?
No, I do, but it's behind by like 30 seconds.
Can you no?
No, I can't. I can't fast forward it.
I don't know why. Like sometimes Josh is ahead, and sometimes Josh is behind.
I don't know. I'll just watch it on. Josh has it on the iPad, so I'll just
Red Sox games.
watch it on there.
There's music going on. I have the music muted at all times tonight.
Okay.
I don't want to get copyrighted. I got copyright for that NFL draft for having music on.
Okay.
Don't worry, Josh. I muted my TV, so you wouldn't hear any music coming from the PlayStation.
Thank you, Connor. Thank you.
I know. I didn't want to get you or Ryan copyrighted.
Alright, yeah, we're good. It's all good right now. The stream's fine.
Jake from State Farm, Ryan.
Yeah, he's in 2K.
Of course he is. What's next? He's going to be in
Look at
Fortnite?
Oh, Ryan, guess what the population is from Newport, Maine, where Cooper Flag's from? 3,133.
Yeah, because Maine is not a lot of people.
Yeah, there's not. No, people don't really
Alright,
want to live
hopefully
up
there's
there.
no music.
NBA Draft presented by State Farm.
It's at the Nets Arena.
Let's meet this year's draft class. First up, this gifted athlete is a smooth shooting wing, a versatile shot
That's
maker,
Ace Bailey.
and is a Big
He
Ten
brought the
All-Freshman
he's a Mets
team
fan,
selection
Ryan.
out
He
of
brought the Mets
Rutgers
pick
University.
yesterday.
Ace Bailey.
This is at the net.
Next born in Celestin, France, and currently playing for Cedevita
That guy's
Olimpia
French.
in Slovenia.
That's
This
a 4
big
points
man
a game
is an
player.
explosive presence
I don't
on
want
the
him.
court. Yohan Belanger. A McDonald's High School All-American. This athletic forward from Arizona makes an impact on both ends of the court. He is Carter Bryant. Selected to the All-America and All-SEC first teams. This guard out of Florida is a dynamic shooter with a deep range.
Did Connor just talk to me, Ryan?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna tell you something.
Hold on, let me mute my screen so I can hear you. Hold on.
All right.
You can talk. What were you gonna say?
A lot of Mavericks fans are saying that Cooper Flagg's going to win them a title.
Oh, maybe that might be true.
I don't think so. Who knows? I mean, really? Like, I mean, he's good,
Ryan,
but
that's the guy the Celtics are interested in. Ryan, Cedric Howard.
Oh, nice.
Look at his chain. That guy's from Russia. That's the first guy
His first
from
name is Igor.
Igor.
Yeah, his name's
Igor?
Igor. I forgot to tell you that.
I
We got 2 people on the stream. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Who are these people?
These people are from. There's no.
He is PJ Edgecombe.
These are college players. Some of these are
The
international.
2023-24 EuroLeague
That's
U18 Dubai
international player.
MVP.
Don't know him.
This fluid forward is an effective finisher and an active
Igor, I
defender.
never heard of
From
until
Germany,
today.
Noah Essenge.
These guys gonna draft us tonight?
A four-time
Yeah, all
SEC
these players are
freshman
getting
of the
drafted.
week.
Some of them won't
He's
be
a
because
dynamic guard
some
who
people that
flourishes in the
didn't
mid-range.
attend will be
Out of
drafted tonight.
Oklahoma, Jeremiah
Right.
Fears.
What?
Some people that are
He's
not
the
attending
consensus
tonight
national player
will
of
be
the
drafted.
year.
So
And
some
you
people
Oh, there's super
First
fun.
team All-American who dominates
You know what
the
happened to
from
Shedeur
Duke
Sanders,
University.
right?
Cooper
Yeah.
Some players
Flag.
might happen like that.
Next.
That guy
an
looked like
all
Baylor
Big Ten
Shireman.
13 pick. This big combo guard gets buckets at all 3 levels
Yeah, behind
and
it.
has a high basketball IQ.
Connor
From
call my name again?
Rutgers, Dylan
No.
Harper.
Ryan, that's the guy that threw the Yankees game. He's a Yankees fan.
A Big Ten
That guy
all-freshman
plays like
selection.
Porzingis. He's on the same country as Porzingis.
The SEC freshman of
He's
the
from
year.
Lithuania.
This dynamic wing pairs deep shooting range with elite scoring instincts. From Texas, Trey Johnson.
I couldn't see these players though.
He's a pure shooter who
I'm
excels
not.
at creating space.
That's
and
Conker
moving
Nipple.
around the
Because I
ball.
want to take some
Joe
dudes
Connor.
down.
5
Wait.
ACC
Conker
tournament
Nipple.
MVP from Duke University.
You see it, Connor?
Knipple.
About to.
An ACC all-rookie team selection.
Ryan, that's the
This
guy that
mobile
was in
center
the
anchors defense
Final
from
Four.
Duke University.
Yeah, everyone on Duke.
Manu Watch.
He's 7'2". Holy shit, he's
The Big
big.
East Freshman of the Year. This tough-minded wing shines
Another good
with sharp
player,
shooting and
UConn.
smart playmaking. From
All
University
Cooper
of
Flagg's
Connecticut,
teammates.
Liam McNeely. An all SEC second-team selection out of South
Don't know
Carolina.
this guy.
This ferocious forward displays good hands and quick timing. He is Colin Murray Boyle. From Georgia. This athletic
That's
big
Cooper
man
Flagg's
excels
teammate,
as a
Ryan,
rim runner
from high
and
school.
versatile defender.
Georgia.
An SEC all-freshman honoree.
Only Georgia
Asap
player in this draft.
Newell.
I like his
The Big
outfit.
Ten Freshman of the Year. This polished post scorer.
Derek
and
Queen,
aggressive
another high
rebounder,
school freshman
has a
of
high-level feel for the
Cooper
game.
Flag. You got
He's
4
out of
people.
Maryland.
Thanks, guys,
Derek
for tuning in.
Queen.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
This Canada native
In the
is a
chat, tell
three-time
us
Big
what your
Ten
favorite
Freshman of the
team
Week,
is
who is
and who
named
you want
the
to
Big
draft
Ten
it
Sixth
to the
Man of the
NBA.
Year. A forward out of Illinois.
Ryan, if you see any
Will
comments, let me know.
Riley. A unanimous Big East all-freshman selection. This versatile rim protector comes from Georgetown University. Thomas Sorver. The 2024 FIBA Basketball Champions League Best Young Player. This creative point guard is from Saint-Étienne, France.
I feel it's great for putting together.
Traoré.
All right.
And selected To the all Big Ten
Danny
first
Wolf.
team, this big man out of Michigan has point forward instincts and a power forward frame. He is Danny Wolf. Fans, let's hear it one more time for this year's draft class. The future starts here.
Olivier, thank you so very much. This is the Green Room invitees for the NBA Draft Class of 2025. On the other side of this break, the draft will officially begin.
Welcome to the draft, guys. There's 59 picks, but not today. There's only first round's today, second round's tomorrow. I'll be streaming both of that. So tune in for tomorrow. Day 2 is the second round. Last year I didn't do the first round, but I am doing the first round this year. See how good we do. Let's see. Comment your favorite NBA team in the chat. Cooper Flag obviously is going to go number 1.
That's what I have to keep leaving on. Can't wait for the Celtics pick. Hopefully
Yeah,
have
we'll
someone-
see who we get. That's what I'm interested in. Yeah, the iPad percentage going up while we're charging it, so
It's
we're good.
fast charging.
That's
It's
good.
fast
That's
charging.
good to know. Connor, you won't have to. You won't have to use it next time because I'll give you time.
Yeah, no, I'm not streaming tomorrow because I have work tomorrow.
I know you will. I know you're not.
Hey Ryan, can I call you after work to tell you what they have for picks?
After work?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's fine.
I turned it off. I turned it off for a minute because there's commercials and I don't want to get copyrighted.
Okay.
We had 4
Well,
people.
yeah, I can see it on my TV.
I have 8 people that already are watching. We had 4 and then 4 and then 2, so that's probably 10 people already.
Yeah.
Yeah, my TV's ahead. Wait, is it ahead or is it behind? I can't tell.
Oh, I'm on a commercial right now.
Yeah, I'm on a commercial too. Oh, it went back to a commercial break. I'll just keep it off until it's actually... Make sure to subscribe to the channel so you get your content on this channel. We passed 256 subscribers, so that's good to know.
Yeah.
Wait, what's this? Media assets? What's this? Oh, you can change your logo? Oh, you have to pay for that. Never mind. I don't like how you have to pay for everything on StreamYard. I wish you could just... Wait, Ryan, what do you use for streaming apps now?
I use Restream.
Oh, is it good?
Yeah, I like it.
I used to get a lot of bad users on Restream. That's why I don't stream on there anymore. Like, I used to get bad comments from Restream. From random people. I don't know who.
Yeah, Josh, if the Celtics don't get to their pick by like 9:30, 9:40, I'm just gonna head off and go to bed.
All right, well, they were saying...
Because I'm already tired right now.
That's okay.
I'll stay on though.
Hopefully, maybe the Celtics will go in a hole. Who knows?
They said if they go in the top 10, if they get the Spurs pick, the second pick, or then they will get Con Kneppel because they have a chance.
Well, if they somehow get to the 28th Celtics pick before 9:30, I'm just gonna head off after that pick.
Okay. What if they're 3 picks away? What if it's very close? How
The
about
threshold
that?
would probably be 2 picks or less. If not, then I'll probably gonna head off.
Okay.
Like if it's like 9:30 and they're like 2 picks away, then I'll stay on.
Okay. Look at this dunk. Look at that. Look at that. Look at Con Kneppel, bro. Wait, is this the actual draft? Hold on. Oh.
I don't know. I can't tell honestly.
Wow, look at that. That is crazy what he can do. They've been talking about him all day.
He be yawning like 8 times.
Right. Why do 2 hours?
I know.
What do you expect? All that exercise.
But when you head off, Ryan, I'll still be streaming it.
Okay, I won't be watching after because I have to go to bed.
That's fine. All right, here's the draft.
You can just tell me tomorrow.
Lives for this moment, and tonight
Bailey.
they
What
dress
time
like
you
they
working
belong
from?
in it with Swagger, Taylor.
I have an
Of course,
afternoon
there's Ace
shift,
Bailey.
so I don't have to wake up
And then
early,
there's
but I would like to sleep in before I
understated
go
and
to work.
cool, even with
So I'm
the
not
weight
tired
of
from
tonight.
work.
It's all part of a celebratory evening where this has been years in the making. As we welcome you to the 2025 NBA. Presented by
Making
State
sure it's on
Farm,
hold.
alongside basketball analyst Jay Billis, 2008 champ and 2003
All right, here we
first-round
go.
pick Kendrick
Flag.
Perkins, do-it-all analyst
ready.
Andrea Carter. I'm Malika Andrews. We're so looking forward to
I'm
this
gonna video it
evening and
some
spending
about
it with you.
Snapchat,
The draft,
too, so
it is
people
about
can
to
see
formally
and
begin.
watch.
So what do you say to get the
Okay.
festivities
Perkins
started?
is there.
Let's send it over to
Yeah, I
Commissioner
know.
Adam Silver, who is approaching.
Isn't he a Celtics fan?
Yeah, he is. He was,
Yeah, he's a Celtics.
he was happy about Holiday.
Yeah, there
going.
he is on the left side. I think he got the pizza. I think he's staring at you.
Here comes the commissioner, Ryan.
Probably still salty.
Everyone loves this commissioner. Ryan,
There we go.
the NBA commissioner.
Oh, there's Adam Silver.
Love Commissioner Ryan.
You know who that
Good
is, Sonny?
evening, and welcome to the 2025 NBA Draft.
Adam Silver.
From big cities to small
best
towns,
Commissioner in basketball.
basketball is played and followed everywhere.
Look, we got 5
And during the
people watching.
finals,
Thank you, everyone,
the
for
very
tuning
best
in.
Thank you,
basketball was
everybody.
played in the heartland
Oh, yeah.
of America. Yesterday, 500,000 people in a city of 700,000 turned out in Oklahoma City for the Thunder's championship parade.
People
That was
booing,
yet
I can hear.
another amazing example of how sports can evoke enormous passion and bring people together.
Look at all those little kids there.
The Thunder were the second
Lot of
youngest
people.
championship team in NBA history. But what they lacked in experience, they more than made up for in unselfish play
40.
and a team-first
Not the
mentality.
real 40.
7 years ago, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the league's MVP, scoring champion, and finals MVP, walked across this stage as the 11th pick in the draft. He and his teammates spent
Ryan.
countless hours in the
Yeah.
gym, watching
Continental has
film and
5
pushing
siblings.
themselves to be the very best.
Wow.
Which of the players
No, 4
drafted
siblings,
tonight
including
will
him,
be the
is
next
5.
key piece of a championship team? With 7 different champions
When are they
over
going
the
to put it on
past
the
7
clock?
years,
They usually start at 8.
welcome to a new era of NBA basketball, where every team has a
All
shot.
right, let's see if the Celtics get in the
Which
top
team
10.
will emerge as next season's champion? The competition begins tonight, so let's get started.
All right, here we go.
The first pick in the 2025 NBA Draft belongs to the Dallas Mavericks, who have 5 minutes to make their selection.
5 minutes. We already know what they're going to
Yeah,
select.
it's gonna take them 1 second to take
Dallas
people flat.
Mavericks, improbably, impossibly,
This takes
they
5
are
minutes,
on
I
the clock
sure.
officially with the number
That
1
happened-
There's no way it
pick.
takes
Let's
them.
take a look
It
at the
took them
connection
5
section.
minutes.
Oh,
brought
I don't know how to
by
block that.
AT&T. These recruited fans,
So I have no idea how the
how
technology is
You
to
can
put
see
Alright,
the
4
excitement
minutes.
there
Let's see.
that they have being inside
pick already
Barclays
in.
Center.
But
It's
it'll
fun
be
to watch
cool.
these young men step across this stage.
If it's not,
into
then you
the
can
NBA.
officially
But it's
call them
been
out.
quite the
So
season for the
dumbest
Dallas Mavericks.
in
They were
NBA
able to
history.
get
Ryan.
spots as
And
the
no one will
Tigers
ever
host by a
beat it.
winner in
They've already done it.
since the Magic
Ryan.
in
This is just
1993. It was a little
Ryan,
Yeah.
we got 6 people on the stream. Let's go,
Nice.
everyone. Let's see who the Dallas Mavericks select.
So Luca, they
I'm
could have
good.
made them bonds.
I mean,
Maybe.
look at that, Ryan. Remember that?
Yeah.
It's like a mix of all different fans. I just saw
Oh my God, they're taking forever to pick. They're usually
I mean, I don't know how the process works, Josh, when it comes to picking players. The
no, usually
technology.
it's quick. They usually every team picks reasonable.
The Mavericks really not gonna pick.
If they don't, then you told them.
I will literally laugh so hard if they don't
All
pick
right,
Cooper
they
Flag.
made their pick. They're clapping. Once they're clapping, that means they picked. So it hasn't been confirmed that the.
They shouldn't even be clapping. It should be that obvious.
They pick like the worst player.
All right, here we go.
If this guy is not named Cooper Flag, I'm gonna freaking laugh so hard.
Well, yeah, then you could fire Nico Harris.
Nico Harrison even in? Oh yeah, isn't? No, that's Jason Kidd. Oh, Nico Harrison was to the right of him.
He should be. There's the GM. He's important.
It is Cooper Flag.
Probably the worst general manager of the NBA.
Yo, if this is not Cooper Flag, someone clip my reaction, please. Please.
This should be flag.
Look at the Mavericks.
You know what?
Look at the Mavericks party.
Alright, the pick is in. Why did that take 3 minutes?
Why is my TV not working?
Let's see. Well, the Mavericks not draft Cooper Flag.
11 people. We got 11 people watching. That's a record, baby. Let's go, everyone. 11 people. I'm this popular.
Wow.
Do you want me to turn the lamp on?
Wow.
Sure.
All my TV's turned off. That's great. That's fine. Why did it freaking turn off, bro? Thank you, everyone.
I don't know if that helps you see better. I turn my lamp on.
All right, here we go.
Should be an easy pick. Shouldn't be any question on this.
All right, it's gonna be Cooper Flag. I already know. Let's go, Cooper Flag. Cooper Flag has the most followers out of any college player right now.
Wow. Friend.
1.2 million. All right, here we go.
But come on, Adam Silver, where are you?
This should not even
Oh my
take
God,
that.
No, the pick is in. I don't know Adam Silver.
Ryan, that's Marty. That's Marty. His name's Marty. From the NFL. Look at that. That's Newport, Maine. That's a population of 3,000 people.
Yeah, that's probably the entire population right there.
Yeah, probably.
That's probably the entire population.
Who's a Celtics fan?
Well, yeah, it's Maine, yeah.
I
I mean,
saw a
Maine is
Celtics fan too. Yeah.
not surprising.
I bet that Celtics fan was hoping he'd go to the Celtics.
I wish he would. But we're not stupid enough to try to get him. Hey, maybe we could get caught. There's a chance, you never know.
That's
mean,
the
this is
high
the
school.
They made some dumb decisions before. Flag day. Just we have a sign that says Flag Day. The gym.
Oh, they want to trade Derek White.
I know.
It would be the funniest thing ever if the Celtics traded the 28th pick. Remember when the Patriots kept doing that?
Oh, yeah.
The last.
Oh, please.
That was a few
The
years
Patriots
ago.
did it like 3 picks in a row.
If we traded Derek
Yeah,
White,
that was the second and third round they did that.
Yeah, no, that was awful.
That was awful, yeah. 9 people. Thank you, everyone.
We might get 100 views on this.
We might get even more than that. We might get 300 to 500.
If we trade Derek White, who do we get in return?
I don't know. Well, Josh, your most popular stream was the NBA draft last year.
Yeah, I know. This could even break it.
Yep, I think it will. Because it's at the rate it's going. Okay, why is this taking so long?
All right, Commissioner's coming up to the board.
Okay, finally, here we go. If this is not Cooper Flag, fire the Mavericks. Entire place, entire community.
Shut down the Mavericks.
Cooper Flag.
Yeah, Cooper Flag. Thank you. Okay, Cooper Flag.
Thank you.
Alright, at least they're not the dumbest team of all time that I've ever seen in my life. We'll see how long it takes for them to trade them.
Oh, it takes like a couple months.
Cooper Flag, baby. Let's go. that one. I wanted to post it so people saw it. Let's go.
Did I just see a trade on the bottom of my screen? Not for the
Where?
Mavericks.
Made a shocking overhaul.
I saw something that said proposed trade, but I didn't see the team. I have no idea.
What number was it?
But tonight
I'll tell you.
marks the beginning of something new.
I didn't think. I have no idea. I don't know
His
if it
city
was real. I
representing
don't know.
for him. They had
All right,
just a
everyone's happy about
1.8%
Cooper
chance
Flag.
Dallas did to land this pick, and yet here they are with the main
Spurs are
event.
next. Spurs are
Cooper
next.
Flag, who Jay Billis,
Now everyone in
the
Big 4 name will be a back.
greatest Duke freshman ever.
This might be
That's
the next
really
pick where
saying something.
the
as he
Celtics
picks up
might
his
trade for the
cap
next
and
pick.
has his moment with the commissioner. We're talking about Zion. We're talking about Jason Tatum. We're talking about Kyrie. What sets Cooper apart?
They
Grant
compared
Hill as
Cooper
well.
Flag to Jason
What sets him
Tatum.
apart is he plays
Oh,
at
really?
both ends
Yeah,
of the
okay.
floor. He's equally as
What's the
impactful as a
outcome?
defender as he is as an offensive
as good
player.
as
He's
them.
a complete basketball player.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
A
Well, I'm
guy
at the
who
wait.
can be a
that.
playmaker at both ends, elite in transition
led
as
his
a
team in
finisher,
points, rebounds,
an
blocks,
elite
and
defender.
steals.
And he's an
Look at
improved
that,
shooter.
bro.
Early on in his career at Duke, people were questioning his perimeter shot, but in ACC play, he knocked down 44% of his three-point attempts and averaged over 21 points per game. In transition, he is truly outstanding. He's got vision as a passer,
Sorry
but he can
about
also
that. I
take it
just
to
had-
the rack and finish above the rim and do it through contact. But his level as a competitor is something that's rarely seen, in my view, for an 18-year-old kid.
Look at that. That's
he-
Clemson.
He
That's
makes the
Clemson.
right play.
My
His
favorite
goal
team.
isn't to get 25 in a game. His goal is to make the right play right now. An elite
Oh, Ryan,
competitor
there's no
that
one from
never
Clemson that
backs
might go
down
in the
from
first
a challenge. He knew what he was getting into
Wait, hold
when
on,
he went
I'm
to Duke as the #1 recruit in the country, and then he winds up being Naismith Player of the Year, National Player of the Year, makes blocks above the rim, gets steals and deflections, can guard literally 1 through 5, and every challenge he responded to it. But he's also a great teammate, to Andrea's point. But take a look at this against Pitt
All right,
on
here we
January
go.
7th. Everybody
Spurs are on the
remembers
clock,
the
everyone.
steal and dunk he made, but the play before he just picked up
might
his
be the
third
pick
foul
where the
early in the
Celtics
second
trade.
half. A lot of guys would back off, but not him. Guarding in the post, he gets around in front and then takes it the other way for this iconic replay that we saw over and over again on SportsCenter and the like, but it was the play before that he was able to overcome and make. That's kind of what makes him a special player.
It certainly is. And now Cooper Flag is with our very own Monica McNutt.
Thank you so much, Cooper. The moment has been realized. How are you feeling?
Feeling amazing. It's a dream come true, to be honest. I wouldn't want to share it with anybody else.
You mentioned sharing it with anybody else. We've got the Flag 5 here. How much have these people meant in getting you here?
I mean, I wouldn't be here without these people right here and all my people back home in Maine. 5 people up in the box up there. They're here for me, and I wouldn't be here without them. So it just means so much to see everybody here and supporting me.
Mom Kelly, Dad Ralph are here. But when you put the ball in your son's hand, what did you hope to instill to him that a night like this might come true?
I just hope that he loved the game as much as we always have. And, you know, we're just thrilled that he did love it and he got to this moment. It's incredible.
All right, we've got the whole contingency here. We need to set the record straight, guys. Did Mom actually lose to Cooper in the last game?
No, it's not a loss. It was a timeout.
Oh my God, we
in
get
the
11
game.
people on
It's
the
just been an extended timeout.
Okay, so that's the way it goes. I think it goes to you, Mom, for helping get into this moment. Congratulations, Cooper.
Thank you. Thank you.
Enjoy the night, you guys. Back up to you.
Monica, thank you so very much. Duke knows a thing or two, Jay, about drafting players #1 overall. The 31st lottery pick from Duke passes Kentucky for the most by any school here as well. It's okay to show some Duke pride.
What's that?
It's okay to show some Duke pride.
I do. I agreed with you.
John Shire, he says that the Cooper Flag is really just a savant with the game. He just has a really amazing understanding for what's required to win and how to elevate everyone around him. And you can see the Dallas Mavericks draft headquarters celebrating.
Connor,
here,
I saw
as
Nico
well as the
Harrison.
watch party. Andrea, he's such a special talent.
Yeah, he is. And you mentioned John Shire. Cooper Flag.
Oh, there's the jersey
That's
already.
incredible.
Oh, Cooper
Cooper
Flag
Flag
is gonna
didn't
be
become
number
more
32.
aggressive on the court until John Shire told him that his teammates needed him to
Guess
be
he's
more
not gonna
aggressive.
be number
That's the
two,
coachability,
but
the unselfishness.
something.
When he realized him being more aggressive helped everyone else,
13
that's
people.
when he
Thank
really
you,
turned it
everyone,
up.
to
And I
being
just
on the
love, again,
stream.
the 2,000-mile span
guys are
between Dallas
amazing.
and Newport, Maine, and the joy that really is reaching these two cities. You can feel it here in Barclays Center. But this is something that is so very special, Perk, to be able to see this kind of reach, this kind of pride in a singular young man. Marty Smith talking about how many people feel like they were a part of this day.
Absolutely. They look like one big happy family, but that just goes to show you what type of person and human being Cooper Flagg is. Even in this moment, but he just settled, right? He's cool, he's calm, but he's grateful at the same time. I love everything about this young man and his family.
Sharing this moment with his family that helped him get here, and the handshake once again with Commissioner Adam Silver. In the meantime, the San Antonio Spurs, they have been deliberating with the number 2 pick, and their decision has been made. It's time to send it back to NBA Commissioner Adam Silver to see who will be joining Victor Wembanyama and company.
With the second pick in the 2025 NBA Draft, the San Antonio Spurs select Dylan Harper from Rutgers University.
The 19-year-old Dylan Harper out of Rutgers. This is, of course, a family and a team.
14 people watching. Thank you, everyone.
That knows this process and stage well. Dylan's mother, Maria.
Ryan, Dylan Harper went number 2.
From kindergarten to high school. His brother has NBA experience currently
Ryan,
with the Detroit
we got
Pistons.
15 people on the stream to begin this.
Ron was the 8th
Wow, and the Spurs got Dylan Harper.
Seasons in the NBA.
I don't. Oh, wait, no, I do know that guy.
Dylan set the Rutgers record
How do you
for
know
total
him?
points for a freshman.
He's on Rutgers. I think
He
I.
makes his way over to his teammate.
Isn't Rutgers near New York?
Monica McNutt saying how much it
Yeah,
is
it's
that
in
they
New
were able to
Jersey.
share this
It's like
night
it's in
together.
Newark.
Two teammates.
Oh,
Hopefully
have
we
you
hear
been
the
there
names
before?
called. A hug for Agent Bill Duffy as well.
Yeah, but not at the arena. But
You see him
that
as
is
probably
fitting.
the best pick and
Yo,
roll
have you
guard
been
in the
past
draft.
their
Is that right?
college? I mean?
Yeah, a lefty who's the best
Oh,
pick and roll
no.
guard in this
I don't-
draft,
I
in
don't
my
know
view.
either.
A
Hey,
three-level
Ryan, what number
scorer
is
with
Kyrie
tremendous
Irving in the
body
NBA?
control, a terrific finisher
I
at
think
the
he's
rim
11.
through contact. He
Oh,
shot
who's number 2 on
67%
Dallas?
at the rim,
'Cause,
but he was also excellent as a
Cooper
pick and
Flagg's
roll
not
ball
number
handler.
2.
Really good in transition.
No,
He's just a polished offensive
must be
player
Derek
with
Lively.
really good
It has to be
footwork.
Lively.
But when he gets into any sort of screen roll situation, he attacks the
I thought we were
secondary
gonna trade
defender
the
and
pick,
even
but
goes
it
after
doesn't
the
look like we're
tertiary
getting the
defender
number
and
2
gets all the
pick.
way to the rim.
They
He
said
can
top
finish with his
10.
right or his left hand. He gets fouled, and he gets to the foul line. He plays with pace. He's
haven't seen
patient,
any
and he
trades
makes
so far.
really good reads. He gets an advantage, and then he keeps it and takes advantage of it. He's an excellent playmaker once he gets into the lane.
I'm posting
And he
every
can pass it, even though 75% of
Now,
his targets were
76
unassisted. You know, he found Ace
All right,
Bailey
third
a
pick
lot,
is already
but he's a
76
good passer.
is
He
then
needs to improve as a shooter.
76
but
is then
17
Charlotte.
Oh yeah, more
games,
than
he
most
had
of the
20 or more. His
big.
physicality a big
Expect to
part
make
of that, and had 35 points in 2 straight games. He was the only player
Because
in the
I think
country,
the
and
Wizards
the only
Jazz
player in the
won
last
it, but
20
they
years
people
in a
watching.
major
This is the
conference
most
to
we
do
ever
that.
had on
Dylan
a stream.
Harper
He broke the
is the
record.
real deal, and with his length as
Maybe we
6'10"
get 20.
wingspan, I think he can be even
Now,
more
let's
an
get
impactful
25.
defender
I want to see
as he goes
25 on
forward.
He scored 564 points this season, a new Rutgers freshman record, and now he's headed to San Antonio
All right.
with Monica McNutt.
We're here with Dylan Harper, number 2 pick, Mom Maria, brother Ron.
Yeah,
You told me
Ron,
a few
that's the
minutes
guy
ago
that used to be on the
you were just
Celtics,
ready to
was on the
get
G League.
drafted, and you had a bunch of emotions. Now that you've been
Doesn't play in
drafted,
the NBA
what are you
anymore.
feeling?
Man, I'm feeling everything, man. All the emotions mixed in one bucket. From crying to laughing to being happy, everything, man. Just feel everything, man. I'm excited to get ready. I'm excited.
Maria, he talks often about how important you have been and the entire family to his basketball journey. What has gotten him here?
His flat out love for the game, his determination, his humility, and just his hard work day in, day out.
You're headed to San Antonio, an
Ryan, what are you
organization
doing?
that
You're
boasts
making
the
a lot-
last 2
oh, that's-
rookies of the
oh, you're drinking.
year. Victor
Yeah,
Wembanyama
water.
is a specimen
Oh,
unto
I heard
himself.
something
As a
cooking.
point
I thought it
guard,
was-
what makes you most
Yeah, it was
excited
the water
to join that
bottle.
organization?
Man, I mean, I think when you play with a
I
bunch
might
of
need
great
to get a
players,
drink
it
break
just brings the best out of
afterwards
you.
when
So
we're
I
at a
mean,
break
they got a great
commercial.
group of young core over
Okay.
there. I'm just ready to get in there and just make an impact any way I can with them guys.
All right.
Ryan, while we got
How
you
does
here,
it take this
what do you
long
say to
for
younger
the
brothers
Sixers
tonight?
to choose?
Just savor the moment, man. Just live in the moment, enjoy it. You know, he worked so hard for this, and we all been there for
Utah,
every step
number
of the
5.
journey. And we're so proud of him. And now, you know, I got to be a secondary
Let's see if
Spurs fan
Con
now.
Knipple goes number 4.
Harper family, Dylan, congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Splashiest offseason
Why does it keep lagging, bro? It keeps lagging.
last year, and that didn't pan out. It didn't come to fruition. Perk, I know you and I go back and forth on Tyrese
Ryan, I'll be
Maxey
right
has
back. I'm
nicknamed the
getting
franchise, but really this still starts and ends with Joel Embiid. What are you expecting from them this season?
Well, I'm expecting them to try to, you know, to go for it. Right, the East is wide open. We're watching the Boston Celtics right now. They're blowing the whole thing up. Damian Lillard is out. We don't know what's going to happen with the Milwaukee Bucks.
That's a good point.
This is an opportunity for Philadelphia to capitalize on the moment, and they got to get this right with this number 3 pick. They got to get it right. A guy that's ready to play right now is going to come in and be somewhat of a key factor and come in and contribute. They got to be able and be ready to start the season and make a run.
That's a good point to the injuries to the Eastern Conference here. It feels like there is a little bit of a wide open sense to the Eastern Conference with the injuries to the Milwaukee Bucks and the Indiana Pacers, for example, the Boston Celtics, Bobby. But there was a question as to whether or not Philadelphia was going to keep this pick or they were going to look for somewhere to bring in a little bit more experience. Can you take us inside their thinking here?
Yeah, this is a high priority pick for Philadelphia. They almost got a mulligan, right? Because they were able to retain that pick. Could have went to Oklahoma City.
Still on the clock. They got 40 seconds.
Here. Where Philadelphia goes, a roster that's top heavy in contracts, 80% in salary. The question now comes to, do you take best available or do you go best fit? And I think whether it be Ace Bailey or a player like VJ Edgecombe, as Perk said, they got to nail this pick.
Jay, do you think that there is can you make that line for us? The best available here for Philadelphia versus maybe who you think is seamlessly fitting with Philadelphia?
Yeah, I mean, for Philadelphia, the number one thing is get healthy and stay healthy.
Correct.
And Joel Embiid has to get healthy. But for this pick, when you're talking best available, Ace Bailey of Rutgers is the most talented player after Harper and Flagg. That doesn't mean he's the right pick for Philly. To Bobby's point, VJ Edgecombe of Baylor is a wing that you would liken to a young Victor Oladipo or a young Dwayne Wade at the same point in their careers when they were 19 years old.
That guy,
he
Ace
plays at both
Bailey,
ends of the floor. I
is,
think VJ Edgecombe
he's
is
the one that
best
rejected
athlete
a
in this
team
draft.
workout.
The best shot maker,
Oh, really?
especially contested shot maker.
He might not go
Bailey.
the Sixers.
But do you
We'll
take
see.
him, given that he didn't work
He's a
out?
Brandon
things like
Miller
that. You have
comp.
to rely on your tape and what your scouts saw on the floor if you're going to make that decision.
And that was sort of
Brandon Miller,
the lack of workout that made the most headlines was the reported scheduling workout for Philadelphia that he didn't end up attending. But looking at your best available, there's a lot of choices here that could help Philadelphia.
Let's see what they
but as
gave
Bobby
Cooper
Marks has
Flagg
said,
for a
they
grade.
have got to get this pick right.
I
And that
think
pick
it's it for the
Let's send it back to NBA Commissioner Adam Silver with Philadelphia.
All right, here we go.
With the 3rd pick in the 2025 NBA Draft, the Philadelphia 76ers select VJ Edgecombe from Bimini,
I have no idea who that is.
Baylor University.
He's from Bahamas.
Oh, it's the dude that they were staring at earlier.
What?
From Baylor.
With his mom.
Yeah, the Cooper Flag. I have, and
What a moment for
I
this
think
family.
yeah.
Talk to
So everything
VJ,
else is a
and
surprise.
it's just so evident the pride he carries for the Bahamas. Where
guess
he
he's from the
grew up.
Bahamas?
This is his
I
family.
see Bahamas
and the
flags
stands
everywhere.
here. And he says the toughness, the heart, and playing on concrete.
Let's see what they gave a
that
grade for
shaped
Cooper
him.
Flag. I'm going to look.
He's
I
6'4"
thought
and
he played in
over
New
and
York
over
City.
again, talking to Baylor.
All right, they gave Cooper Flag an A. They gave him an A.
Players hailing from the Bahamas, including Michael Thompson, Buddy Hield,
Look
All
at
right,
this.
Ace Bailey might go to the Hornets.
VJ Edgecombe,
Let's see
who
if the
played
Hornets.
for the Bohemian national team in the 2020
Yeah, the
Olympic
Hornets. No, he's won the
qualifiers. He then
76.
played college
The
ball
Hornets.
at Baylor. He won Big 12 Freshman of the Year there, and
Then
this
the
is
Jazz.
really awesome, Andrea. With
Yeah, I don't
his
think the
NIL
players- I think
earnings,
it's
he
the
set up a
players-
scholarship
yeah.
fund that paid for 3 student
And
tuitions
it's a better thing that they're on a bad team is because they're going to get more
in
minutes.
the Bahamas. His head coach
Because if you're on a good
compared
team
him to
with
Russell
yourself, you already
Westbrook
got
in
a lot of
that
hope.
way of his athleticism,
So
and
they're
said he's going to be a
Celtics
problem
are saying
here
that they
for
might
years
trade
to come.
White
Yeah,
for the
absolutely.
Raptors
You
pick.
mentioned his experience with the Bohemian national
When is the
team. Buddy
Raptors
Hield
pick?
called him a high
9.
character kid, fun to
That's
be
not
around
good.
and fun to play
They
with.
said-
And it's
no,
beyond
Ryan,
his
if that
character.
happens,
He is
guess who we're getting back for him? We're getting R.J. Barrett and Brandon Ingram.
No, just keep the 26. Don't try to be greedy.
Get rid of White, dude. Why would Brad Stevens want to get rid of White?
I don't know. Brad Stevens has saved 251,000.
I know.
What the hell's happening?
So that's good.
Don't get rid of White.
The offensive end and the defensive end.
Yeah, you don't
16
even save
steals,
that
the
much.
most
It's not
by
that
a
good.
D1 freshman in Baylor history.
Well, Andre, your point about being a high-level athlete, he's elite athletically, a 3-and-D guy that plays above the rim. Lobs, I think he can do a better job finishing over length, but I think he'll get that in time. But you don't find athletes like this very often.
We'll see what happens with the
and
Celtics.
He's a great defender. He's developing as a shooter. He can knock down an open three, but he can certainly improve in that area. He shot 34% from three. He made 52 of them, but as a defender, he plays incredibly hard. He blows up dribble handoffs. He's an excellent chase defender, and he just disrupts. Very good as a help defender, getting out in passing lanes.
The Hornets were 19 and
ability, and you don't say this lightly. He does remind you of a young Oladipo, a young
The Hornets
when they were
record, I
19.
saw it.
Now, the question is he going to reach that sort of height as he goes forward? But he's certainly got the capability there.
He likes to compare himself to Anthony Edwards, the two-way ability,
We have
the
15
explosiveness,
people on
and
the
his
stream again,
favorite
Ryan.
player in the NBA right
I-
now.
yeah,
I
this
think
stream could hit
it's all
1,000,
about.
baby.
Look at his mom, Bendra.
I
the
think
moment
we're at
that she
30,
hears her son's name
30 or
called,
40 views in
the
the
work
first 40
that
minutes.
she has put in, that he has
Or
put
50.
in, and now the family is with our
And we'll
partner.
find out after.
VJ, mom, Bendra, brother, Ritario, I want you to watch this when BJ's name was called a few minutes ago. Tell me what's going through your mind, Mom.
I'm gonna tell.
We got a comment.
Super excited. We came from nothing. We came from nothing, man. We're truly blessed just to be in this position,
Look what the
man.
comment says.
I know. The
Thank
emotions
you.
is high right now, so I'm
Thank
just
you
letting it
guys
be right
for
now. All right? But the
commenting.
emotion's super high, but we came from
appreciate
nothing.
it. I'm gonna
So this is why the emotions are so
destroy
high
that
right now,
comment
man.
for now.
In your feature, BJ, we saw you talking about playing basketball in the Bahamas, 12-year-old playing against men. I'm not going to ask you, I'm just your brother. When you saw your brother at 12 playing against big grown men, did you think that tonight was possible?
I'm actually lost for words right now. My brother saw the stream before I did, or before anyone else in my family even did. I'm so proud of him. He got me in tears and I don't even cry. Man, I don't know. I don't got no words
We'll
either,
see
man.
who's
I'm
good.
blessed.
Hornets get
Be
Ryan.
third pick. I mean, it's a dream come true, man. I spent countless years just sitting there watching draft, bro. So I don't
Better
even-
not be
I don't
Con
even know.
Knipple.
I don't know what to do, man.
You good, Mom?
What
How proud are you of your son?
Proud. Super proud. Like you said, we came from nothing into everything. Screaming to the world. Screaming to the world.
All right, y'all. Well, thank you so much. Congratulations, VJ and family. Back up to you guys.
Let alone 28.
Ryan, I just saw the Celtics might trade Brown and get a top 10 pick right now.
The sacrifice, and not just the,
I mean,
the young men
wouldn't be the
putting
worst.
in, but think about the sacrifice in the family his mom had to put in, right?
Says they're gonna keep
you have to
White
be going
and
out there
trade
working
Brown.
overtime just to be able to allow their kids to go to AAU trips and go on AAU tournaments.
I see them
And
paying
right
a
now,
pick
the
for
way
a pick.
AAU tournaments, how
But I don't
much
see
they
it for
charge
a
you getting the dough. You
Those are
got to put in the extra 12 to 15 hours just to go and get a weekend pass. But you definitely feel it, man.
And that's why you're just so happy for these families.
Yeah, I mean, I remember you watching
We have no
BJ
trades
Edgecombe
right now,
against
so
Duke
we'll
in the
see.
NCAA tournament with almost 20,000 people in the arena.
All
He's
right, they have
playing
1
hard.
minute,
But even
Ryan,
in the
on the
beginning
clock.
of the season,
16
in the
people.
tournament in the
Let's
Bahamas
get it
with
to
just
20,
2,000
everyone.
people in the arena. He's playing hard on back-to-back nights. The level of effort that he plays with, it shows in his journey.
And Philly got this right, I believe.
Hornets have
They needed
45
that athleticism at the wing, complement Tyrese
Take it in. The
Maxey.
Hornets have
And
10.
what the final showed us is that the wing is the most important position in the NBA. And you got a two-way player that's a dog, that's going to go in and give you high motor, high energy. I believe he's going to be all right there with the
It's
Philadelphia
high reward
76ers.
with lower risk.
Yeah.
So Ace Bailey is high reward, but a little bit more risk. So
This
I
might
agree
be
with you. I
Ace
think
Bailey.
they
We'll
did the
see.
right thing there.
You've got a young Jared McCain too. When you talk about a shooter,
Right.
VJ Edge
When he
has the
got
ability to
drafted,
slash into the paint, and if he can
that
become
was
a playmaker to
8
find
years
Jared McCain, that's a young
I
core
don't
right
think.
there
I don't
that
mean
the
that.
76ers
That was
can
8
build
years
on.
ago.
And the 76ers are
That
sort
was
of working
the
on this
summer of
almost dual
2017.
timeline, if you will. They have the young nucleus with Tyrese
He got
Maxey, and
drafted
they
like
also
almost the
have
same
the
day.
Paul George and the Joel
Who got
Embiid. They're trying to
drafted?
sort of do two things at once while also building
Maybe
a
it would
winning
have.
basketball
It's
program.
about.
VJ
It's
Edge
doing
is
well.
headed now
Who,
to
Ryan?
the Philadelphia
What?
76ers. It's the
Who
Charlotte
got
Hornets that are
drafted?
on the clock now. They went 19
we're
and 6
talking about
3 this
Tatum.
season in their first season under Charles
Tatum
Lee.
got
It's the
drafted in
worst record since
2017.
2011, 2012.
Yeah, I know.
But this is a franchise that's working really to find their footing. They haven't made the playoffs since 2015, 2016, and
Tatum was
LaMelo
projected
Ball
to be
has
a
been a star
first
that
pick
we
in
just
the
would like
first
to see
round.
a little bit
We got
more of.
7
3 and 32
guys,
without
17
LaMelo this
people.
season. Brandon Miller missed 55
He might hit
games,
over 100,
45
Ryan.
different starting lineups
Yeah.
here, Perk. There was just a lot of turnover here in the first
All
year
right,
under
pick
Charles
is in.
Lee.
It was,
Please
but
show
he
us
was trying to
it.
establish a
Stop
culture there,
Absolutely.
right?
Come
Coming
on.
from the Boston
I wanna
Celtics,
see- I
he
wanna-
was bringing
Celtics
like
get
what
their
winning
chance.
looks like, what a winning coaching matters, like holding guys accountable. We saw him go back and forth a
All
little
right,
bit with
Utah.
LaMelo Ball this season, right? Actually, at times
It's
he
sad that
actually
Utah
benched
didn't
him,
get
right,
the
for
first
not,
pick, Ryan.
holding himself accountable on the defensive
Yeah, it's
side of
about
things.
yeah.
So
That was just a
they're
1%
trying to move in
chance,
the
and
right
then they get
direction.
it.
I believe he is the guy for them to move in the right direction.
That was just the
Let's see what
weirdest
they
team
do.
I've ever
What
seen
do
in
you
my
think is the
life.
best fit here?
They are
When you
the
talk about
weirdest
culture,
team.
immediately
They
what
are
comes
the
to mind is
dumbest,
Con Canepa. I don't know
luckiest
if you
team I've
feel the
ever
same,
seen in my
Jay,
life.
but
It's so
culture,
weird.
making winning plays. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He's an extremely talented shooter. I think it's a great fit.
The pick is in. And
The Hornets pick Con Canepa.
With the fourth pick in the 2025
Yeah, I do need one.
NBA Draft, the Charlotte Hornets select Con Canepa from Duke University.
Good call on that.
Yo, Cooper's Black was Con Canepa.
Another Dookie drafted here
Everyone plays him.
in the top 5.
They're gonna have to.
Knipple, he comes from a basketball family here. His mom, Shari, is the all-time leading scorer in Wisconsin Green Bay women's history. His father played collegiate ball, and actually, this is my favorite fun fact, his dad, Con, and his 3 uncles,
Ryan.
Clint, Clay, and Cole,
Con
they're
Canepa
known
was
as the
projected
Flying
number
Knipple
10.
Brothers
How did he
after
go
they
from
won a
10 to
3-on-3
4?
tournament. And Cooper says that Con is the
great.
hardest player for him to defend in practice. He watches a whole lot of Klay Thompson film. He watches a lot of Jimmy Butler, which I think makes sense, Jay. 6'5", shooting touch, mirroring guys like that.
Well, he's the best catch-and-shoot guy in this draft. Con Canepa's got deep range, shot 48% on corner threes, and his shooting mechanics and his shot preparation, his low base, near perfect. And he catches it to shoot it, and you've got to take that shot away from him. And he can get into the lane with his strength and makes plays on
Oh, we just hit a new
his feet,
record,
but
Josh. We got
as a
19
shooter,
watching.
there aren't many
Let's
like
go.
him in this draft. It's this catch and shoot, really deep range, and that shot gives him such credibility. He can drive a closeout, and again, playing off 2 feet. But one of the great things about Con Canepa is he is tough, man. He's physical, he gets loose balls, but that shot with his shot fake, he's a straight line driver. When he gets in the lane off a shot fake, he can make a play in the lane and he can make a pass, but he's got a versatile game. He can shoot.
Oh, we
he can
just hit
move without
20,
the
Josh.
ball,
We just
he
hit
can
20.
pass, and he competes and plays hard all the time. But I love the way he gets so many loose balls. It seems like he's always around the ball and had the highest plus
Now
minus
Utah's on
in
top.
Division I this last year.
Such a high basketball IQ. You talked about him moving low without the ball. His eyes find the rim as soon as his hands touch it, and his demeanor never changes. He's so stoic, so under control.
Con and the Knipple family are with our mom.
Yeah, we'll want to get into it.
Con, you're kind of far
He's
away
got
from
into
me,
it a
but we
couple
got your
times
whole
before.
crew here. So I'm going to just come on over to this side. Sharing tonight with these guys, what does it mean for you?
I mean, it's such a blessing from God to be able to enter the NBA, but to be able to share it with your family is beyond comprehension.
name is
So
Cash.
it's such a special moment for us and for me.
Hey, Ryan, I have
Your
something to
brother
tell you.
is very poised right now.
Wanna
That guy
come-
looks like pizza on the right.
For his
Oh.
new fan base in Charlotte.
On the
What do you have
right,
to say?
all the way to the right, looks like pizza.
It's a blessing
The
from
red,
God.
the red.
Yeah.
We'll have fun every minute of it.
Oh,
It'll
guess
be
how
awesome to
tall
watch
he
him
is.
from
He's
home.
6'9".
Go to
He's
some
taller than
games.
Con Canepa.
You were
He's a
part of
five-star
the Duke team.
recruit, too.
Freshman led the way, an incredible run. How did that experience prepare you to take this next step?
You know, there's a big spotlight at Duke, and we us freshmen didn't shy away from that, and it prepared us for the next level, and hopefully that'll carry over.
Guys, in our feature, the backyard games were a part of the focus. I know this guy's going to the Charlotte Hornets, but truly, who has the best game in the backyard?
If it was on lower hoops, me, I would dominate in the paint, you know.
All right, well, we appreciate that you guys being here.
Nice
Con, congratulations and starting your NBA career.
He's my favorite player in the draft. I was hoping the Celtics would get him. Of course, he goes to Hornets.
See, Monica, that's true sibling rivalries there because you keep it in the backyard. You don't bring it out into
Did
the
Connor
public.
see all
Here,
the
look at this.
siblings?
You mentioned the flying Knipples. Con, Clint, Clay, and
Yeah, they're like
Nicole,
almost all
father
the
and
same.
uncle
The Jazz were
of
17 and
Con
65.
This is that 3-on-3 tournament, Jay.
The flying Knipples or let it fly Knipples?
Ryan.
What?
Or let it fly.
Con Knipple,
Surely
his
did.
brother
Fly
is in the
early
same
2000s,
grade as
and
my
now
brother.
The next generation, led by
Oh.
Con, and then you
The
got
little
Kidman,
one,
the
you see the
second
smallest
oldest,
one right
and
there,
Kinston,
Kidman.
Okay.
Kidman.
Cash, and
His
Kidman.
name is
So we're
Kidman.
looking at
Yep.
I see a theme. I see a
Boy,
theme.
sick.
Con's got some cash.
exactly. Con has got some cash. Con Knipple heading to the Charlotte Hornets
That's
here.
funny.
He's moving through here.
Oh, my grandma called
Draft
that.
workouts. Congratulations to Con and the Knipple family here. The
That's
Utah
funny,
Jazz
Connor
are
Kidman.
now on the clock here. There was a chance that Utah could have had the #1 pick here. When you look at them having the worst record, 17-65 in
Let's
the
go,
NBA
Con
this season.
Knipple's on
Lauri Markkanen,
the
he
Hornets.
averaged
They're gonna
19
do well
points.
now.
He led the team. It was the first season without a 20 points per game scorer since 2015-16. But they did agree
Connor.
to a multi-year extension with Will Hardy in May. He is signed through 2031. Clearly the guy who is going to lead them through this
Connor.
next chapter. It seems like the Jazz have been in a little bit of a purgatory for a while here, Perk. How can they start to climb out?
Well, they got two of the best in the front office. You got Danny Ainge and Austin Ainge.
You guys
Right?
think
Danny
Con
drafted
Knipple's
me,
the
so
best
you know he a
chat,
genius.
but he just went to the
But
Hornets.
let's see where it starts right now. I mean, we've been waiting to see. They've been talking about trading the pick, but obviously they about to do something right here. Let's see what they got.
When you're looking at the best available here, Jay, who are you circling?
Well, I mean, you still have Ace Bailey available. I mean, he's the best available
Connor.
talent. But who knows? Like he could go here. He could go as low as 8. But Trey Johnson, another outstanding shooter out of
Connor. Oh, never mind.
Colin Murray Boyles is a guy out of South Carolina that I rank higher
All right,
than I
let's see
think
what
some
they
others
give
have.
Con Knipple. Let's see what they give
Left-hander,
him.
really versatile defender.
They gave him a B. I would have
There are a
given
lot of
him
ways
A+.
they could go here, but the most talented player on the board right now is Ace Bailey.
I was going to say, it sounds like GMJ is leaning Ace Bailey.
Well, yeah, when you've got a lot of scoring options, Ace Bailey certainly has the highest ceiling because of his size, but Jeremiah Fears is a scoring point guard, and Trey Johnson is an electric shooter from all spots and off the dribble and off the move. So to me, those three, when you talk about scoring in Utah and getting that crowd and that fan base excited with big buckets, those are the three that I'm looking at.
Trey Johnson in the green room right now, waiting for his moment to hear he has been initiated into this NBA brotherhood. And Ace Bailey as well. There's been so much made, I think maybe a little bit too much made of this pre-draft workout process because you get to know so much about these young men, watching them play in college, that I don't know that how much more you can glean from a 1-on-0 workout.
And
He has so much talent.
They interviewed him in Chicago.
Well, let's
that should
see.
be enough.
The pick is in. Here's Commissioner Silver.
With the 5th pick in the 2025 NBA Draft, the Utah Jazz select Arius Ace Bailey from Rutgers University.
Yeah, the question with Ace Bailey was never about his talent, but simply where would the Big Ten all-freshman selection end up? And now we know. The Utah Jazz. Both of his parents, Richard and Ramika, they both played. And his favorite player, Kevin Durant, says that Bailey is a pure talent. KD added that being able to shoot the ball with the type of touch that Bailey has, it's insane is the way that he put it. Scoring is really this young man's thing, Jay. He's gifted in isolation. He's confident when he takes it as he enjoys this moment with his family. And now he is a member of that NBA brotherhood.
Yeah, beyond the measurables, you know, he's got a 7-foot wingspan. He's about 6'8", but he's just a big-time shot maker. He makes tough shots, and they're contested shots. He can make turnaround jumpers with a hand in his face. He's really good with his pull-up game. He shot like 65% on runners and floaters. He's just got a terrific
22 people. Let's go, guys. We love this stream.
But I don't think you're going to find a player in this draft that has made more difficult shots than Ace Bailey has made. And I think NBA players, when they were watching him play this last year, go, man, this dude can score in a variety of ways and makes NBA caliber shots. At 39 in a game against Indiana. He had 38. Probably his best game was that 38-point game that he had against Northwestern. But, you know, his ability, he's good in catch and shoot. He shot 39% there. He can improve his handle and his finishing, but his talent level is really undeniable. A very good athlete. He just got a lot of ability. Now, I think he can improve his decision-making, his shot selection, his playmaking, and I think he can be a much better free throw shooter. But the talent is undeniable. After Harper and Flagg, this is the most talented player in the draft.
Taylor Rooks did an interview with Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey, and she asked Dylan Harper how to describe Ace Bailey's game, and he said it's like playing a video game. The types of moves that he can make. It's like pressing a button on your controller. That's how effortlessly Ace Bailey scores.
Yeah, he's automatic. Yeah. And now he's with Armonica McNutt.
Ace, you're stoic. On a night with questions about your pre-draft process, how can you be so cool and confident in this moment?
I mean, I have a great circle that maintains the outside world while I just focus on the basketball part. So I just thank them every day.
You've gotten props from KD, Giannis, learned some moves from Giannis. Are you ready to go to Utah and maybe use those moves on Giannis?
Oh, for sure. I got some more stuff for him, too. Yeah, for sure.
Congratulations, Dave.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Let's go, guys. Hopefully.
I love the confidence. I love the swagger here that we get to see from Ace Bailey. Now that he knows where he's headed in the NBA, his home will be the Utah Jazz. And just like that, the top 5 picks of the 2025 NBA draft are in. When we come back, the Washington Wizards are on the clock in a night that started with Dallas drafting Cooper Flagg.
I would have gave Continental a better grade.
It wasn't the late night shoot-arounds or the tournament trips. That's not what got me here. It was them. The love they showed me. It's why I give it back and pass it on, you know? Because it's the assists you don't see on the highlight reels that make all the difference.
Dang, your score is higher than a giraffe on a pogo stick.
That's because I bank fee-free through Chime. Plus, I build credit through everyday purchases.
That's a big perk.
Hey, perk. Fee-free banking and early access to your pay is like being at Granny's house on a Sunday.
Everybody eats.
All right. Didn't know how that's gonna go.
Who's here? Chief, no, T4 says. Because any car that doesn't offer the confidence that it will find you is a car that stops short of amazing.
One ordinary family
4 astronauts go up into space and come back forever changed.
will become fantastic.
Your planet is marked for death.
We will protect you.
As a family.
Johnny, quit screwing around!
I tell you how to drive the ship, don't tell me how to kill sexy aliens!
Marvel Studios Tales of Fantastic Four. New trailer online now.
You waited a lifetime for this moment. Now it's time to celebrate. The official collection. The Oklahoma City Thunder NBA champions.
Guys, are you happy about the NBA draft more than me? I am.
Available now at NBA Store. A Fanatics experience.
Behold, a Boost Mobile Unlimited plan at a price that never goes up.
$25 a month forever. That's a great idea.
I know. I do my best thinking in the shower, so I turn my office into one. Leave it open. Leave it open.
Real is gold. That's my motto. It's also the motto of my favorite tea, which is convenient. Gold Peak Tea. Real is gold.
Attention shoppers, for more browsing, go to Jardians.com. We've got a big story to tell.
Down Professional. It's grease cutting suds last.
NBA Draft 2025 is presented by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
How precious to be able to get to see young Dylan Harper. The baby photos, I think we need to keep those coming for the rest of the evening here. While we were in the break, the Washington Wizards were on the clock, and they've made their selection.
With the 6th pick in the 2025 NBA Draft, the Washington Wizards select Trey Johnson from the University of Texas.
Trey Johnson, the 6'5" guard out of Texas, sharing this moment with his dad, Richard, his mom, Priscilla, and of course his younger siblings as well. Trey actually wore number 20 in college because his dad wore it during his collegiate playing career. And this is just an incredible, special moment for this family, a really heartfelt moment together. Trey's coach at Texas, Rodney Terry, he compared his work ethic to Kevin Durant's, one of Trey's favorite players in the NBA, and says you literally have to drag this kid out of the gym. He's someone who wants to be there all the time. He shot 40% on threes, led the SEC in scoring as a freshman. But what are your thoughts, Jay, on how his style will translate to the next level?
Well, it translates really well because he's got an elite NBA skill. He can really shoot the ball. And I think he's the best overall shooter in the draft. Konkanippel is the best catch and shoot guy. And it's not close with the percentages he shoots. But look at that suit. I didn't notice the
shorts. We have to show off your short shirt.
Up top, he looks like a banker. Down low, he's like a guitarist for AC/DC.
We won't tell everyone that you're actually wearing a short suit right now, Jay.
but he's an outstanding shooter, and he shoots it equally well off catch and shoot situations and off the dribble. He was 41% catch and shoot, 39% off the dribble. He gets separation. He's just a gifted scorer that is a natural shooter. He gets it off quickly. You know, he's got a wingspan of 6'10".
Quick release.
Quick release, and he's got beautiful form. And he really does a good job of moving without the ball. He can do it off of screens. He did it there in a pick and roll situation.
Yeah.
But he's just natural as a scorer. I think he can improve his defense, but as you mentioned, Malika,
which grandmother?
SEC in scoring at just about 20 points per game. The last two freshmen to do that were Cam Thomas and Brandon Miller. He had a 39-point game earlier this year. That was the most by a freshman.
They gave the Konkanippel a grade of a B. They should have gave him an A.
Also the most by a freshman in Division I. He had 15 games of 20 points.
That's who went to the Jazz, Connor.
The main thing for him is to become a better defender and to get stronger, both of which he can do.
Yeah, and I had a lot of time. I got an opportunity to spend a lot of time with Trey Johnson. You know,
one of Konkanippel's siblings is named Kidman.
Chappelle, and all around great kid. goals.
funny.
Nothing about, it's all about basketball with him. But when I look at Trey Johnson, I see a lot of Chris Middleton. The way that he's able to create off the dribble, get separation, the floaters in the lane, and like Jay just highlighted,
I heard they're trading
the
Brown.
best overall shooter in this draft.
And quite the history here when you look at the highest drafted players out of Texas.
They're
He's
trading
joining some
Brown
elite
for a
company,
lottery pick.
And now he's with Armonica McNabb.
Possibly.
Trey, your offense, your scoring ability, second behind Kevin Durant for a freshman scoring in the last 15 seasons at Texas. That's the highlight. What gives you confidence that you'll be able to take that to the NBA?
Just knowing how hard I work, most definitely how consistent I am with it. And I'm going to do what's been working. I'm going to keep staying in the gym and putting in those hours, and that's so long been translated, so I'm going to do that same thing.
Richard, Trey said that he wore your number to honor you, to honor your legacy. Your legacy is headed to the NBA. How well do you think he has honored that?
I mean, he deserves it. This was my dream 20 years ago. 30 years ago, but I'd rather for him to be here than me anyway, so I'm just glad and honored to have a son that, wanted to represent his father.
When you hear that from your dad, Trey, what goes through your mind?
He tried to lie on his age right now, but it's most definitely correct, though. Just he's been there the whole way, and it's like we both getting drafted right now.
Outstanding, guys. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Not calling out Pops on national TV. Congratulations to the entire Johnson family here. I do want to bring in our draft expert, Jonathan Givony, into the conversation because, Jonathan, I understand you have some news from Ace Bailey. What more can you tell us?
Malika, Ace Bailey did not work out for a single NBA team. He's the only U.S. prospect that declined to do so. This was not one of his preferred destinations, Utah. He was hoping to get to either Washington, New Orleans, or Brooklyn. The Utah Jazz selected Ace Bailey knowing that. This is a little bit of a stunner, but if you think about it, this is an outstanding place for Ace Bailey. They have a wide open wing situation. They have a huge need for a star in his mode. They have an outstanding coaching staff. I think Ace Bailey is going to recover from this very quickly and realize that he landed in an outstanding situation with the Utah Jazz. It just shows you there's only so much an agent can control in this process. If an NBA team decides they're going to take Ace Bailey, that's exactly what happened. And this is the first move that Austin Ainge has made as a head decision maker in the NBA, and it's a big one.
Jonathan, thank you. I mean, considering the talent that Ace Bailey has, it's no surprise that Utah had the chance to draft him, and they did. Bobby, how do you evaluate the situation when you're hearing that, okay, maybe this wasn't a player's preferred destination, but he has an immense opportunity?
I give Utah a lot of credit here, right? Here's a player that didn't come in for their workout, and I think it shows you that we kind of tend to over-evaluate the individual draft process here when they go out there. Utah needed to get a star. This was the best available player. It doesn't matter if he came in or not.
Bobby, thank you so much for that insight. Again, Ace Bailey headed to the Utah Jazz here. As we turn to the New Orleans Pelicans, who are now on the clock, this has been a little bit of a transitional year. We just saw them make a big trade a couple of days ago here, Perk. What's the face?
No, I would say that Ace Bailey embraced this.
Okay.
Utah has a hell of a fan base, especially when you go and turn things around and start winning. That fan base is really, really great. I hate playing in Utah when I was on the opposing side. So embrace it. You have some great people in the front office. You have a great coach, a young owner that's very, hands-on in the organization. You got Dwayne Wade walking in and out of there. Man, it's a real, don't underestimate Utah, young fella.
I do like Will Hardy. I spent some time with him doing sideline for the NBA. His understanding of the game, he's just really fun to talk to as a coach.
The pick train is keeping on moving, though. The New Orleans Pelicans are on the clock. They have made their pick. Let's send it back to the podium and once again welcome in NBA Commissioner Adam Silver.
With the 7th pick in the 2025 NBA Draft, the New Orleans Pelicans select Jeremiah Fears from the University of Oklahoma.
Gifted is the word our draft expert Jonathan Givony used to describe Jeremiah Fears. I would say swaggy as well. His high school coach at Arizona Compass Prep says that Jeremiah, he was just born to be special, and he was born to have an NBA jersey, and now he has one with New Orleans. And, of course, he shares this moment with his older brother, who plays at Michigan State, his siblings, Jamari and Skylar, his dad and his mom, who he calls his support system here. His dad played overseas. He studies Ant. He studies Trae Young. He studies Steph Curry. He continues to work on that three-point shooting. And he said, Andrea, that he's going to remember every single person that was drafted before him. He told our Mark Spears, and he's going to remember every single franchise that passed on him. And he is ready to give him that work.
He's confident, and his game is a lot like those 2 Chainz, ice cold. That's the way that he plays the game. He's an excellent ball handler with elite speed who can shift gears and change directions at any time. He's fast, but he's also physical, and we have seen how valuable scoring point guards are in the NBA.
Yeah, he had 6 games of 25 or more in a game, and 5 of those came against top 25 teams. He led Oklahoma in scoring, assists, and steals. Great speed with the ball, an excellent handle, and dynamic in pick and roll situations. Very productive, uses his body well, a knack to get into the lane and get fouled. Can that translate to the NBA where he shoots as many free throws? He was just an inconsistent three-point shooter, only shot 28% from 3, made 38 of those on the season, but super talented and really speedy with the ball.
He also added 15 pounds, the good for kind of freshman 15, when he was at Oklahoma. He's the 7th top 10 pick from Oklahoma, the 2nd freshman, joining Trae Young, who was the 5th overall pick in 2018, to hail from Oklahoma. And now, Jeremiah Fears is standing by with our Monica McNutt. I cannot wait for this interview.
So, Jeremiah, you see that graphic? I see you got your O chain on, your Oklahoma colors. You join a legacy of guys that have done special things to represent the Sooners. What does that mean to you?
Man, it means the world to me. Just being able to kind of go out here and show the world what Oklahoma
grandma told me
can bring and continuing to take steps in the right direction.
Obviously, you were just drafted in the NBA, but you also play baseball.
I don't know. He just told me, like, how am I doing?
Your experience playing multiple sports is going to help you.
I think it'll just help me overall in the long run. I think
that 25 people when you were
it'll
gone.
help me as well as far as IQ-wise and just continue.
Yeah, Judge, I don't think we're going to get to the Celtics. We're not even at the 10th one.
Thank you.
I would say, can you do me a favor? The Celtics are projected to trade between the 8th and 19th pick. Can you wait until the 19th pick?
It's just so
depends what time it's at.
Work that all of these parents.
They said between the 8th and 21st pick we should see a trade.
And you know, this is something where every
right,
year
we'll
we get to witness dreams being realized and lives changing in real time. It's really something. It's why I always say it's one of my favorite days of the year, is because of things like this and relationships like this.
We only got through like 3 picks in the last 20 minutes.
That's real pride.
Yeah, it's special, and you know she has watched her son achieve so many things, and he has the ability to take over games. So when you talk about 31 points, 12 of 12 from the free throw line.
Ace Bailey went to the Jazz. He's not happy right now.
Mississippi State. Jay, you called the SEC tournament, did you not?
Well, someone had to go to the Jazz.
Kentucky, they're battling back. I know they
wanted to go to the Nets or Pelicans.
He scored 10 points in the final minute and a half to get them back in that game and send it to overtime. His ability to get to the free throw line. What is the one thing that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander did time and time again on the road to an NBA championship?
Got to the free throw line.
Gets his opponents off the court completely because they're in foul trouble.
We got
That's what
4
Jeremiah
A's
Fears
and
has the
2
opportunity. In addition to his scoring and his speed, he puts defenders in a tough spot.
We got more
A's
than B's
extremely well.
And now it's the Brooklyn Nets that are on the clock. Jeremiah Fears once again headed here to the New Orleans Pelicans. Now, the Brooklyn Nets, they have a plethora of first-round picks here this evening. And Bobby Marks, he was sort of wondering whether or not we'd see them make all of them. The record was 26-56 this season, the first season under Jordi Fernandez. Cam Thomas, he was a bright spot, but he did miss 57 games with that hamstring injury. And they have an off-season of abundance, is what we're going to call it. They have the most cap space, $45 million here. I want to bring in Bobby Marks if we could. Bobby, what do you expect Brooklyn to do tonight with so many first-round picks as we take a look here inside their draft headquarters?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, Malik, if Brooklyn walks away with 5 first-round picks, which would be the first team ever to do it. Remember, this is the first time Brooklyn has drafted in the top 10 since Derek Favors in 2010.
Brooklyn's got 6
So
picks in the
plenty
whole
of
draft,
needs for them.
Ryan.
Certainly a player like Kaman
What?
from
Brooklyn
Duke,
has
a player
6
that
picks
we've
in the
talked
draft.
about.
They have the
need
most
rim
in
protectors there.
history.
Keep an eye on him there.
You know
Oh,
what
wow.
you're saying? If we got those first-round picks, Jay, we are going to make those first-round picks. They got 5 of them. That gives you a lot of opportunity.
Yes, Celtics
here.
are 28.
Yeah, that's surprising to hear Bobby say they may keep them all.
Yeah.
Why
Because
we
you thought
behind?
they're going to be
Hold
one
on,
of
we
the
have to go a
prime.
little
To keep all
forward.
these picks, right?
I
And
was
the
behind.
talent that they have in this draft. And I believe it's going to be like that for the next
Yeah,
2
take
to
his end.
3 drafts, right? It's a lot of
All right,
talent
let's
that's
see it.
coming up, but especially
Probably
in this
gonna be the
one,
next
they
pick
feel
the
like,
Celtics
hey, we
trade.
could draft, we could build a culture. As long as we have the correct guys, we just saw Sam Presti do it. What makes you think the Brooklyn Nets can?
I think it's interesting, too. Does Brooklyn go with a big here? Do they go with a big point guard here? They've got a couple of options when you talk about Kasparis Yakachonis out of Illinois, Yegor Demin out of BYU, Kaman Malawach if they go the big route from Duke. So do they go with someone on the inside or someone who can play on the outside? But I think either way, they can get good size here.
Jay, looking at your best available, they got 5 shots at it, but the first that you would be looking at is who?
Well, it depends on. Now you're starting to get into an area where you don't just go best available all the time. I happen to think the best available player is Colin Murray Boyles, but he may not fit what Brooklyn wants to do. And to Andrea's point, Kaman Malawach, the best big guy. Yegor Demin, the best playmaker. Asenge is really interesting as a wing defender.
Let's see who the Brooklyn Nets select. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver has the pick.
With the 8th pick in the 2025 NBA Draft, the Brooklyn Nets select Yegor Demin from Moscow and Brigham Young University.
Oh, Igor. That's Igor.
Yegor Demin is the first player born in Russia to be drafted since 2013. He grew up in Moscow. His dad, Vladimir, played professionally in Russia. And actually, I love this. He makes sure, Dad does, to send game feeds to all of Yegor's fans. And those videos include commentary and include analysis that he does in real time. At 15, Yegor became the first Russian on Real Madrid's youth team. And Jay, his passing, that really seems to be his calling
All right,
card
this is
here.
the next pick. Hopefully the Celtics trade.
Yeah, incredible vision. He was 3rd in the Big 12 in assists, and he was 2nd in assist percentage. You know, you're talking about a guy who's got positional size. He's over 6'8". Another guy with really long arms at 6'10" wingspan. But with that size and length, he is really big in pick and roll situations. But he's an excellent handler, an excellent passer, and he's daring out on the court. Really good in transition.
6'8", Ryan, he's
just
crazy.
But elite in passing.
Yeah.
Pick and roll vision, outstanding. Got a great feel
I
for the
think,
game.
Ryan, we had over
One thing
70
he does not
views
do,
in the first
is
hour.
he's not a consistent shooter. Only shot
He might hit
28% from
100.
But Malik, you mentioned, set a BYU freshman assist record. Had multiple 10-assist games. He's played overseas. He knocked down 42 threes on the season. He does not hesitate
I want to see
to
30.
shoot the
I
ball,
want to see 30
but I would
people
call him
watch it.
streaky at best. Just didn't hit a high percentage of those.
All right,
So the Nets, I think, hope
Celtics
Yegor
to trade.
helps this offense. It ranked 28th here this season. And now he joins a handful of players here selected in the top 10 from BYU first.
And guess what? Wings again. We 10 picks in. What did I
30
tell
and
you, Dre,
52.
before the
Wow,
draft?
they
I
were
said,
bad
I don't see
too.
no big man going top 10. I told you that, Jay. It's the most important position in the NBA right now. And what teams are seeing is they're following the footsteps from the Indiana Pacers and the Oklahoma City Thunder.
I want to know where Danny Ainge was on that list. Does that mean he's not a modern in the modern era?
What you mean?
Yes,
That
Jay.
list of BYU guys.
The modern era.
The
Jay's
modern
favorite thing. The headquarters loved it. Maybe some fans in Brooklyn just wanting to make sure. Is he saying who's that? We just told you, sir.
He'll show you who he is.
He'll show you who
He'll
he
show
is.
you exactly
Just
who he
said
is.
who's that.
They
just
didn't
told
like
him.
Kristaps
How did he
Porzingis
not
in New York
know?
He
either.
just
Right.
needs to sit
Raptors.
down and keep a cool
Tell me
booty.
you don't
What?
watch basketball without telling
Raptors
me you
on
don't watch
the
Just
basketball.
keep a cool booty up
I
there.
hope the
But your
Celtics
favorite thing
trade.
about Yegor Demin?
I mean, his confidence, his vision.
Yeah,
he says he watches
the
a lot
Tigers
of Cade
today,
Cunningham
Ryan.
because of the size, the ability to find his teammates. But you know, I think it's
beat the
important
Tigers
to
3-0.
talk about him being able to become a better shooter. He talked about that at the Combine, knowing that was something he wanted to prove, and he shot well at the Combine. So it's clearly something that he is putting the time in. But to me, the confidence, the fearlessness with finding his teammates, the vision and skill to do so, that stands out.
But if you're going to start somewhere, if you're the Brooklyn Nets, why not at the point guard position with a ball handler that's 6'8", right? If you're going to start somewhere and you're going to build a future and you want to build through the draft, this is not a bad starting point.
Again, their offense near the bottom of the league in the NBA, 28th last season, so looking to be able to build on that with the vision and passing that Jay was talking about. Now we turn the page to the Toronto Raptors, who are on the clock. Let's check in on their season. Just remind you how we got here. The Toronto Raptors with the number 9 pick. They had a record of 30-52 this season, 11th in the Eastern Conference. They acquired Brandon Miller in a trade with the Pelicans. He missed every game after the trade with an ankle injury. RJ Barrett, a little bit more of a bright spot, 21 points a game, just over 21 points a game.
Who was projected to go to the Celtics.
They missed the playoffs for the 3rd straight season. They've lost 50 games in consecutive seasons for the first time since their first 3 seasons as a franchise here, Burke. They're not that far removed from being a team that we expected to be consistently in the playoffs.
Now I feel like here's the moment when we're about to see a big man. This is the moment right here because that's what they need, right? I don't know if it's Derek Queen. I don't know, but they need a big. I feel like Masai Ujiri knows that. He's stacked at the wing
Pelicans
position.
got a
He has
C+
that.
for their
somebody
pick.
That's gonna anchor
That's
that middle
funny.
and be able to protect.
So the wings
that
are good. The wings are taken care of.
Yeah, all flats.
You're a wing
we
fan.
good. We good.
All flats. The Raptors, though, their defense had a huge turnaround. They ranked top 5 over the last 3 months of the season, so a big man would be joining that elite rank, really, Jay.
Ryan, can you stay on until 9:45?
For a defensive big man that's a presence in the lane at both ends of the floor, it's Kamon Malawach. But he would be the next best available big guy.
I've been yawning the
block
entire
shots,
week.
excellent offensive rebounder, really good lob threat.
And a guy who has ties to NBA Africa, which, of course, the Raptors and Masai Ujiri are very familiar with.
What'd you say?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Kamon Malawach, he makes impactful plays. He's a play finisher.
Celtics make a
So on
trade.
the
I want you to
offensive
see
end
their
with his
pick.
dunks, he's a constant lob threat.
You just told me tomorrow, Jack. I'm not going to look it up because I'm going to be at work.
As a help
All
defender,
right,
a
Joe, look it
one-on-one
up. I'll
defender,
tell
he
you.
played a switching defense.
I'll be at work.
When you talk about the best
What
available
time you gotta
big,
work
best
tomorrow?
available big, especially defensive big, go to Kamon Malawach.
Sometimes
What do you
different
think in
times.
terms of expectations for
Whenever
the Raptors this
the
season? Obviously, looking at the numbers, Scotty
I mean,
Barnes,
what
he
time
kinda
you
did it all
working?
for the Raptors this year. They're looking in a
Starting
Eastern
or
Conference that is wide open. I would imagine
are
this
you
is the
working
time
till
to try
like
to
12
kind
to
of get back in
5?
the mix.
Absolutely, and they
Yeah,
will.
something
I
like
believe,
that,
with a healthy Brandon Ingram, right? You still have RJ Barrett. And, I mean, they have the pieces, and I love their coach, Coach Darko. I actually raised him when he was in Oklahoma City.
for a
So
Pelican.
but he's a
Oh, the
great
pick
guy,
is
great
in.
coach. He has the attention and ears of that locker room. I expect them to make some noise. No, there's no reason that they shouldn't be a top 6 seed in the Eastern Conference this season.
When you're looking at the best available, Jay, I know Perk is pointing out their defense and potentially a big man that could come into that fold, but you were saying that your best available, it may not necessarily be a big right now.
No, I think the next one up is probably Colin Murray Boyles on my list from South Carolina. Left-hander, really versatile defensively. I mean, completely underrated. I wouldn't call him a shooter, but really good in the lane, finishing around the basket, and just knows how to play. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Colin Murray Boyles.
And where we talk about Kamon Malawach with his size and his length, Colin Murray Boyles defends with an IQ. He's got extremely quick hands. He also
That
is
guy's
better
compared to
offensively
Julius
right
Randle,
now
Ryan.
than Kamon Malawach because Colin Murray Boyles is an amazing passer. He can pass with his back to the
That's
basket.
Malawach.
Over the
He's
shoulder.
on
He can
Duke.
deliver bounce passes. He can throw lob
played
passes
with
off
Knipple
the
and,
dribble. That's Colin Murray Boyles. So offensively and defensively, you're getting a more versatile player on both sides if you go with Murray Boyles.
Yeah, Murray Boyles, he told ESPN that when people who know him watch him play, it's the smaller things that stand out. He says he hangs his hat on how hard he plays and his unselfishness. It kind of makes me think of TJ McConnell, who says that playing hard is really a skill. All right, the Raptors pick is in. Let's send it back to the podium.
Here we go.
With the 9th pick in the 2025 NBA Draft, the Toronto Raptors select Colin Murray Boyles from the University of South Carolina.
Colin Murray Boyles sharing this moment with his mom, Yvonne, his dad, Sean, his brother James, who was a standout at UNC Pembroke and plays overseas now. And of course, a hug now with Chloe Kitts, his girlfriend and South Carolina star forward in her own right. And one thing, I love this, Andrea. I love this about this family. So mom's an attorney.
This guy's a really good player.
And she's persuasive. Dad is a contractor.
There you go. Picked up a dime, so I would do stuff.
Sean built Colin a gym to practice it.
15
they
points
needed to
a game.
make one, and
He
so
led South
they did.
Carolina
And the
points per
analytics
game.
models, they love this young man. But one thing NBA scouts noted, the need to kind of
He was supposed to be in the
grow
top
as a
15.
shooter. What did you see on that one, Jack?
Well, he didn't shoot the ball well. He's not a three-point shooter. He gets most of his points in the paint. He was second in the Southeastern Conference in paint scoring at over 11 points per game. But he was the only SEC player to have 40 blocks, over 40 blocks, and over 40 steals this season. It shoots about 67,
Ryan? I can't hear you.
at the
I
rim.
said, well, it's been going fast.
He's
It's already
just over
been 90
30%
minutes.
on jump shots. That's an area where he needs to improve. But a versatile, long-arm defender. That's really the lead story with Colin Murray Boyles. He's an outstanding defender with incredible awareness and alertness.
What time you going to bed?
And he's just relentless defensively. He plays really
Did you
hard.
say, Ryan?
And he's good in the post.
I was telling Connor that I won't be able to get he thought he was saying if I was just tonight, but I'll be in
Good offensive rebounder, 2.5 a game. But defensively is where he sets himself apart. He can move his feet. We talked about him playing hard.
Dude. Look how good he is.
This season, South Carolina, they really struggled to win games in the Southeastern Conference. They were 2-16. He never took a play off. But to Andrea's point, he's a good passer, a good offensive player that scores around the basket. He just needs to be able to stretch that out. But because of his basketball IQ and his work ethic, I think he's going to improve his perimeter shooting.
Yeah, and that shows from his freshman year to his sophomore year. And I know it's not a lot, right? But freshman year, he's 0 of 5 from the three-point line. Sophomore year, this past season, he made 9 threes as a sophomore. And I know those numbers don't jump off and shock anybody, but to make
the Suns
more threes
as part of the
than
Kevin
even
Durant
took
trade.
The previous season shows he's at least putting the work in to develop that side of his game. But he scored 11 points in the paint this season. That was second in the SEC.
Oh my God.
He's got soft touch, he's got good hands, and he
Guess
connects
what, Ryan?
his teammates on the offensive side.
He's an all-SEC
Ryan.
second-team selection, and
Ryan.
Chloe's reaction here.
Yeah.
I mean, an impressive player in her
The
own
Nets-
right.
Guess
And
what the
now
Nets got for a
rocking the
grade for their
Raptors
player,
hat. Matches the
Igor?
dress, too. We love that
Guess
coordination.
what?
So
They
it
got a
looks
C plus.
as though the Houston
Wow.
Rockets
Worst
are
grade
on
in the
board
draft
number
right
10,
now.
But we know that pick is on the move as part of the Phoenix
Yeah, kind of
Suns
Igor.
trade that landed the Houston Rockets Kevin Durant
He's
here.
a bust of a pick,
Kirk,
everyone's
how do you think
saying.
the Suns should approach this
He
pick
hasn't
as
even
they
played
continue
yet.
to
Yo,
build
people
around Devin
calling
Booker?
these
Because
picks
they've
bust
said
are
they don't want
insane.
to
They haven't
take
even
down
played
Suns.
yet.
Well, this
What the
guy
hell?
is kind of. I agree with them. He only averaged 10 points a game. That's
Right, well, that
not
doesn't mean it's going to do more or less than the NBA. You got to wait till it actually happens.
Or it may be time for them to take a center. Right?
Yeah.
They need a center. They've been
Can't
searching
tell
for
that
one
was
to hold it
wait
down
till they take up
to
a
grow with
chance.
Devin Booker.
Give him a
Obviously,
fighting
you saw
chance.
DeAndre Ayton. He didn't work out
You're
with
right.
Devin Booker. Big Nurkic. He didn't work out
So
as
now
well.
that-
Wait, I see a proposed trade on the bottom line for the
You
Suns.
might have your guy that's
Yeah.
going to be a star in this
Look at the
role
Suns. They
and
have
not wanna
Booker,
do too
Green, and
much. A lob threat at
Beal.
the basket
That's 3
and
good.
be
Oh,
a
wait,
ball
was that the
They
trade
are
of the
pretty thin in the front court. I had wondered
Yes,
whether or not they would
yes.
try to look
I
to
thought that was
use
a trade
this
play
asset
now.
to be able
Yeah,
to look
I
for
think I know
someone
what they're
maybe
going to
with a
do. They're
little
going to
bit more in
draft a
line with
center.
Devin
They don't
Booker's
have a
timeline,
center.
but as of
The
now, we have not
Suns.
seen that happen, Andre.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting if they want to go with a big. We talked
This
about
was the pick where
Mama,
Concanapa was
Senge,
supposed to
some of
go,
those
but he didn't go
players
there.
that can really contribute there. But if they want to go with the wing, we've talked about some 3-and-D guys, Jay, that could really come off the board. Carter Bryant being from Arizona and played at Arizona, so there's a connection there. Cedric Coward, so 3-and-D or a big man. I see that pick going that way for Phoenix.
Yeah, there's another 3-and-D guy
Ryan.
in that vein, Rasheer Fleming.
Yeah.
St. Joe's. I don't know that
Ryan.
he'll go this high.
Yeah.
But those are good calls.
I
those
think
3
we'll
guys
see
are
a
going to be
trade
very
with the
valuable
Celtics
in the
between
first
the
round.
11th
This is
and
Jay's best
21st
available
pick.
as we sit now here at pick number 10 that is headed to the
I don't
Phoenix
think the
Suns as a
content-
part of that Kevin Durant trade. Since it says Houston, why not? Let's talk about them a little bit. Perk, you
I
love
don't
this
think the
trade.
Celtics would have
for
trade
the
any
Houston
picks
Rockets.
because
The team
they
was
saved
already number 2
$250
in the
million,
Western
so you would
Conference
think they
last
wouldn't
year
have to
and
trade
looking to
anything.
eclipse that make
Yeah,
it
but
farther
guess
than
what?
they
They're
did
over
in
the
their
salary in the
first
second
against
apron.
I did, Malika,
They're in
because they
penalties.
didn't
I know, but I mean, they also have to. I mean, they just did 2 trades. I mean, if you're gonna trade, you gotta have a thinking process.
who I believe is baby Jokic.
There's another baby Jokic you'll hear
You think
about.
the Celtics will think about
And then,
another
you know,
trade
they
after they
kept
just did
Amen
2 in
Thompson,
like a
Tari
day?
Eason, perimeter defense. I believe in
I
the
think
next
they'll
2
trade
years,
him.
2 or 3 years, Amen Thompson might be the best
They need to
two-way
save
player
money.
in the league.
That's what they
Like,
need to do.
That's how high
I mean, they've
his
already
ceiling
saved
is
Jordan
to me.
50 million.
And then you throw in, they just re-signed Fred VanVleet. Right, so you got the
If they
experience
get rid
at
of
the
Brown,
point
they
guard.
save
Big
100
Steven
more
Adams,
million.
You know what he's
That-
going to
that
come
will
in
put them
and do
below
for
the
his offensive
salary, and they
rebound
could
and
sign
be a
more
great
players.
screen setter. But then Kevin Durant solved so many problems. They needed a closer. They have Kevin Durant last year. They beat Golden State. Point blank period. All right, they needed three-point shooting. Kevin Durant provides that. They were one of the worst three-point shooting teams in the NBA last season. And now Kevin Durant goes to a situation where he knows and respects the coach and the coaching staff.
That guy was in
Ime
2K.
Udoka, that relationship.
What?
Royal Ivy.
Kendrick
friends
Perkins
with
was in
Kevin
2K.
Durant, so they're going to hold
Yeah, I
Kevin
know.
Durant to a certain level and hold him accountable, and
Wait,
he's
that's
going to
2K?
accept the challenge.
No, they got a couple 2K. I forgot
Well,
which
I
one.
saw him in this 2K. I saw him.
Offensive rebound
Oh.
opportunities.
Well, you
I
were
see
able
what-
to see some of this up close. You were
Johnson,
calling
2K.
games in the NBA this year as well. Jay wears
Wow.
every single hat that we have here at ESPN. You were able to see the Phoenix Suns up close, and I think everyone knows that there is still a lot left for Kevin Durant to do with the Houston Rockets here. But it seems like these two teams are in very, very different places now.
Yeah, I mean, with
We're gonna
Durant
see a Duke
leaving,
center
Phoenix is in a
going.
much
Maybe
different
the
place
Duke
right
center
now,
will
and
go.
they have to make a decision on Bradley Beal. That's really going to be where things shake out for them. But look, this is where you start in the draft. I mean, if you're gonna build a team and build it to where you want to get it, I think you have to start with the draft. You know, that's where the best teams build, is through the draft, and they have an opportunity right here.
What are you looking at here, Andrea?
Yeah, I think I'm looking
do
at.
this to you all the
I'm
time.
just looking at the bigs. Like Kaman Malawach. I think it's time for him.
Yep.
Asa Newell out of Georgia, extremely athletic, defends at a high level. I think going.
All right, here we go.
someone in the
10th
center
pick.
could be
Time to
important.
show the
Keep
bigs
throwing
some
it.
love.
10 seconds left. Adam Silver's at the podium.
With the 10th pick in the 2025 NBA Draft, the Houston Rockets select Kaman Malawach.
His first name is
South
Kaman.
Sudan, the NBA Academy Africa in Senegal, and Duke
But it's
University.
so different. So K-H-A-M-A-N.
He's going, but this pick is getting traded to the Suns, so he's going to the
Emotion
Suns.
Here
He's on Duke.
for Kaman Malawach and his family.
Right now, his family's watching the
Remember
draft. It's
Kaman,
4
not
a.m.
only
in
for
Sudan
his
right now.
excellent rim protection at Duke,
Wow.
also playing for the South Sudan
His
team that
parents are
lost to the United States by just a single point and caught the world's attention. Kaman is one of the remarkable stories of this draft. He grew up in Uganda after his family fled conflict-ridden South Sudan, and he picked up a basketball at 14 years old after a motorcycle cab driver stopped him walking down the street and said, "You're so tall, you should start playing basketball." You can see how much this dream realized means to him in this moment. He was discovered by the NBA Academy Africa in 2021, and talk to anyone around Malawach, Bobby, he's an even more remarkable person than he is a player, and that is saying something.
Malika, I mean, we're talking about him on the court, but certainly as a human being here, and when you look at what he's been able to do, certainly at last year at Duke, but the one story that keeps on sticking out, and he's playing against Team USA, Kevin Durant and Joel Embiid, and seeing his mom, who he hasn't seen
is
in
this
years,
pick getting
walk down
traded
that
to the
aisle, and
Suns?
it wasn't those two players that intimidated
I
him. It was
don't
seeing
know.
his
He
mom
picked
in
up
that
a Rocket
stands
pass,
there.
though. I don't
It's
think
truly
so.
one of the great stories of this year's draft.
He told our Monica McNutt yesterday, Bobby, that his parents are at home and he thinks that they'll stay up a little bit past their bedtime to watch their son have this moment with NBA Commissioner Adam Silver. Jay, you can see how much this means to him. I think when you consider the journey that it took for him to get here to the NBA, to be selected here.
He's from Uganda.
He was born, as we mentioned, in
Yep.
South Sudan. He was a little bit of a late bloomer, started playing basketball a little bit later in life.
Look how tall he is.
before
He's
going
like 6
to
foot there.
NBA Academy Africa, and he became just a tremendous presence at the rim.
Yeah, worn number 9 at Duke in honor of Luol Deng, but you're talking about a big-time rim protector with a 7'6" wingspan. blocked a ton of shots last season for Duke and was a real presence in the lane. Also an excellent offensive rebounder. His offensive rebound percentage was close to 17%. That was top 15 in Division I. And he shot 71% from the field. That was fourth in Division I. He shot that percentage in large
I did. After this pick, Josh, I'm probably going to head off. I'm really tired.
As a pick and roll roller, you can just lob it up.
That's all right. I gotta go to bed shortly.
On the season.
Can you stay up until 10?
Division I.
I want to call you
those
if there's a
dunks
pick.
were off of lobs. He's not a switch big. He played mostly.
Well, once I head off, I'm going to be getting ready to go to bed.
He's a better perimeter shooter than his statistics indicated. It's something he has worked on.
No, probably not.
He looked very good on that at the combine and
tell you
shooting drills.
tomorrow.
I think he's going to be able to.
Yeah, you can tell me tomorrow after work.
Tell Connor I don't want
maybe
him
don't trust
telling
it
you.
yet, but maybe reliable.
Okay, yeah, Connor, don't tell me the
Come on, is with our Monica Whitnett.
Okay, Connor, take time. I'm going to look at
You
it.
told me yesterday that you are
tell you
delusional
tomorrow,
about
Ryan, when
your
you're out of
dreams.
work.
Tell the truth.
Okay.
Did that delusion include being drafted a lottery pick in the NBA?
Yeah, Connor, we're getting ready to go to bed shortly. So, yeah, what the hell?
That, like me being delusional about my dreams, believing in myself that I'm going to make it to the NBA one day, and now I'm here in the NBA draft. Just got drafted.
We also talked about the pride and all the folks that you are representing. What do you want to say about the people that have helped you get here, and in particular your roots in Africa?
I mean, I'm here representing the whole continent. Living Africa, I had the whole continent on my back, giving hopes to young kids, inspiring young kids and the next generation of African basketball.
Specifically to your parents, Marid and Owang, what would you say to them as they're watching at whatever time it is where they're watching?
I mean, I want to thank them so much for raising me the way they raised me, for making me such a good young
nice
man,
guy,
and
Ryan,
raising me the right way and
center.
showing me the good values of
Yeah, I
life.
know.
There's such a joy
Such a
about
nice
you,
kid.
Common. Thank you for sharing
Deserves
that, and
it.
congratulations tonight.
This guy's
Thank you so
young.
much.
He's the youngest kid besides Cooper Flagg, second youngest.
This is
That's
such an
his brother.
emotional moment for
I think
Kaman's
that's his
family,
brother, right? Is
considering
that a
everything
boy?
this family has been through
Yeah.
to get here. His siblings all sharing in this with him. Again, you heard him with Monica sending the message back to his parents watching at home. Just a tremendous, tremendous story.
I just shared it too. No, seriously, I mean, but this is what it's all about. Like, do you realize how hard it is to make it to
I
the
love
NBA?
international
Do you
players.
know
They
what
make the
do you
game
know
better.
What it feel like to get your name called?
I
when
was
you have
hoping
to
this guy would go to the
compete, especially
Celtics,
from where
Ryan,
he
but
came from,
turns out
the
no.
obstacles, the hurdles, right? Like being able to be put on the platform to be seen, and then all of a sudden make the best of it. I see him playing the Derek Lively role, to be honest with you, for the Phoenix Suns. I know, Jay, you said he played mostly drop coverage, but I see a young man that's going to accept the challenge of being able to switch out on the perimeter and slide those puppies.
And
one
now
day.
we've seen Duke have multiple players here drafted in this first
Wait,
round. I'm hearing that Shams Charania has some breaking news for us, as I just mentioned, the Duke players.
There's breaking
Some
news,
history
Ryan.
here. I want to bring in
What?
Shams Charania now. Hey, Shams, I hear we got some picks on the move. What more can you tell us?
So one deal just happened. The number 11th overall pick is being traded from the Portland Trailblazers to the Memphis Grizzlies. So this pick coming up at 11 will be Memphis's pick. And then elsewhere, the Phoenix Suns draft Kaman Malawach, but they have also traded for center Mark Williams from the Charlotte Hornets. I'm told the Hornets are getting the number 29 pick in tonight's draft, as well as a 2029 first-round pick. So we know the Suns have had an issue with their front court size, but they
Come on,
have
tell
addressed
us
it in
about
a
a
massive
Celtics
way
trade. I
tonight.
wanna hear
Getting
it.
Kaman
It
Malawach, they
wasn't
did
the
not
Celtics,
expect
yeah.
Malawach to drop to them at 10, but he did, and now they get him as well as Mark Williams.
All right, so at the deadline, the Hornets traded Mark Williams to the Lakers,
He's
but he
going
failed
to
the
the
physical. So
Grizzlies,
now
I guess.
he is headed to the Phoenix Suns. The Portland Trailblazers are on the clock, and their pick is in.
All right, well,
We have a trade to announce. As part of a deal to be finalized later, the Houston Rockets are trading to the Phoenix Suns the draft rights to Kaman Malawach, the 10th pick. And now, with the 11th pick in the 2025 NBA Draft, the Portland Trailblazers select Cedric Coward from Washington State University.
His last name is Coward.
So the Portland Trailblazers.
Whoa, what is this?
Colin Cowherd here.
Why?
This
His
is
last
a young
name is
man
Cowherd.
with the ultimate bet on yourself story. He paid $25,000 to attend Willamette
He got
University
injured last
after
year, Ryan. He
academic
didn't bring a
scholarship and
single.
financial aid. Even the man who recruited him pointed out how rare it is for a future first-round pick to pay his own way to a Division III school here. But his journey didn't stop there. He played 2 years at Eastern Washington before transferring to Washington State. He only played 6 games with a shoulder injury, but he was the team's leading scorer, and his draft stock has been rising a lot here in recent months.
Ryan, you'll want to stay
Cedric
on for 2
Cowherd
more
was
picks
a
to see.
virtual unknown 2 years
What?
ago.
You'll
he
want to stay
started
on
out
until
in
9:35.
Division III, went to Eastern Washington.
I'll
transferred to
do
Washington State,
one more.
only
I'll
played
do the
6 games
the
last year because
Chicago.
of a shoulder injury. But in those 6
Okay.
games, he had 3 20-point games. He also had a 30-point game against
Thank you
Northern
for staying
Colorado.
on, Ryan.
He was actually
Oh.
transferring to Duke when he went into the draft. Duke could have had 3 in the top 11.
Why are you tired?
If he got, or 4 in the top 11 if he gone there. It's really kind of
Is that what my bike
But
earlier?
he shot it very well at the combine. He's a 3-and-D guy. He's got a 7'2" wingspan, a big-time vertical. He's an outstanding athlete, but prototype 3-and-D with his length and athleticism. His potential
look
is
at that.
tantalizing. He's got speed. He's got great instinct, a sturdy frame, big hands, and he's a good passer. Good vision. He can improve his handle and his decisions, but he shot it really well at the combine. Shot it well off the dribble. I think he was 17 of 20 in that star drill that they have there. But his ability to shoot it from the perimeter and then defend multiple positions is why he's going number 11 in this draft. A guy with a lot of potential.
We should mention that our Shams Charania is reporting that the Portland Trailblazers are trading him at the number 11 pick to the Memphis Grizzlies. Again, this pick, Cedric Cowherd, is headed to the Memphis Grizzlies. And again, it's been quite the journey for him, Andrea. You don't see this very often. A young man going from D3 to then Eastern Washington, Washington State, entering the portal, committing to Duke, and then deciding to remain in the draft.
He is a strong athlete, intense competitor, and dangerous three-point shooter. 39% from beyond the arc across
Ryan,
his
you remember
career, and
Wells
he's
that got
competitive.
injured? This
Cedric
is the same school
headed
Wells
here
went to. The guy
the
at
Memphis Grizzlies, and he's here
Really?
with Monica McNutt.
What a long shot of a journey, to use your words, Cedric. But now you're here. What's the next step to continuing to prove yourself the way you have so far?
To keep getting better, to take every day just the exact same as I have, keep embracing the process, embracing the journey, and giving my all to the game of basketball.
You seem so matter of fact. Will you stop, let your shoulders down, savor, and realize the improbability of what you've accomplished tonight?
Kind of both. I mean, it's not time to let the shoulders down. It's time to keep the foot on the gas, time to keep going. But for all the kids out there that are similar to me, hitting my story, and where I am today, you can keep going if you believe in yourself, have faith in the Lord, and, you know, just work to accomplish your dreams.
I'll do it. Outstanding stuff, Cedric. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Monica, thank you so very much. Fun fact about Cedric Cowherd. I love that he loves to bake cookies and paint custom sneakers as well.
We're going to a break, Ryan.
Okay. I'll say one good thing about the drafts, though. They don't have a lot of commercial breaks.
No.
This is the first one in 12 picks in.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they had one at the 5th or 6th pick.
Oh, when I was gone?
It was only 2 minutes, though.
Well, yeah, they're just waiting until the Bulls pick. They have 2 minutes. So it'll probably be like 2 minutes again.
No, the commercials in the NBA draft are way quicker than the NFL.
I didn't recognize that.
You didn't know? Remember we streamed it? It was 5 or
Yeah,
10
I streamed
minutes.
it, but I don't remember how long the commercial breaks were.
They were 5 to 10 minutes, bro. They were ridiculous.
Oh, yeah, now I do. Now you say it. Yeah, that was awful. Huh? Yeah, the freaking... Dude, it was like Super Bowl.
I'm never doing that stream again. I'm never doing the NFL. I'll probably
It
do
was the
MLB.
NFL draft in
Ryan,
April.
Ryan, when
What?
I do the MLB draft, you don't have to do it with me if you don't want to.
Okay.
Unless you want to use your phone for it.
Well, if it works, that's never a guarantee. It always works on the iPad, man.
Wait, can you
I
try
could.
it? Could you try? You want to test it out right now to see if it works?
No, I don't, because I'm about to go to bed shortly.
Okay. How about this? We test it out. How about we test it out when the MLB draft comes closer?
When is it?
It's on a Sunday.
Yeah, what date?
Hold on, I'll tell you. Hold on, I'm looking. Hold on. It is it's the 13th.
July 13th?
Yeah.
All right, we'll see. All right, the Bulls pick is in, so once the commercial break is over, they should announce, and then I'll head off for the night. I'll wait until the player gets
I
drafted.
got good news about the Red Sox. You could go
What?
Instead of going your dad's on the 13th, you could go on the 12th because the 12th is a 4:10 game.
Are you talking about streaming it?
I'm saying when we stream the MLB draft, you could go instead of Sunday, you go Saturday, and Saturday there's a 4 o'clock game.
I gotta talk to my mom and see if my dad is available. If my mom can take me on Saturday.
No, I'm not talking about now. I'm talking about July 12th.
Yeah, I know, but I wait until it gets closer.
Okay.
Because usually I go Sunday, so that's why.
Actually, I just realized something. The draft, if you do go on Sunday, it's not until 8 o'clock.
Yeah, but if I'm working on that Monday, that's gonna be awful.
Okay. How about this?
We'll see what happens, Josh. We'll see what happens.
How about, I have an idea. Only do it if you're not working on the Monday. How about that?
Okay, I'll let you know. That schedule won't come out for a while though, so.
Yeah. That won't come out for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I always have to wait for the week of.
I wish they came
That's
out
how-
with 2 weeks in advance. I think my boss.
Well, that's just not how it works.
All right, here we go.
Oh, I love how I just realized they have an ad counter, which shows you the time when. That's pretty cool. I didn't even see that until the last second. Yeah, do we need a bigger logo than that? Is that covering the entire screen?
I don't mind the Bulls. Oh shit!
Who's home with the Bulls?
Hold on.
With the 12th pick in the 2025
here we go.
NBA Draft, the Chicago Bulls select Noah Essengay from Saint-Jean-du-Bray, France, and the
I don't know who that is.
It sounds like he has a
Noah Essengay.
It sounds like gay, like the
One of
word.
the risers in this draft. Noah began playing
It
basketball
sounds like guy or gay,
at 12,
like
which was
G-Y-E.
just 6 years ago. He's the second youngest player in
How
this
long are you
draft.
staying
And he played
on
the
till?
last 2 seasons in Germany.
I'm gonna
which
head
maybe
off
is
now.
why
Let
that
me get
fan
ready.
looked a little bit confused. But he grew up in France.
Are you going to bed
and
now?
He made a huge leap
Yeah,
productivity-wise, year 1 to year 2 in Germany, and says that
Oh, you don't
he
wanna
watches
go-
a lot of
you don't
Kevin
wanna do
Durant.
one more
He
pick?
watches a lot of
No, I'm not
Brandon
doing one.
Ingram.
I was
And
gonna head
Kawhi
off.
Leonard
I was
as
gonna
well.
head off the one
Players
before this
that can
pick.
dribble, they can shoot, they can pass and defend the whole package here. Jonathan, how did you see him raise his game? I mentioned
Whoa.
that leap
Celtics are
he
not
made
trading right
from
now,
year 1
Ryan.
to year 2 as he has his moment
What?
here with NBA
Celtics
Commissioner
are not
Adam
trading
Silver.
right now.
Malika.
Okay, well, I'm gonna head to bed.
Noah Essengay is a
All right, it
ball
was good
play
seeing you.
at 18 years old, waiting
Thank
to be
you.
molded into a Swiss
Thank you for
Army
having-
knife, two-way
thank you for
forward
coming
in
on.
the Pascal Siakam
You're
mode.
welcome.
He
Do
guards
this
point
again
guards
next year.
At over 6'11" in
Yeah.
shoes. He draws fouls in bunches with his fluidity and mobility. He's a
Fine, I'll talk to you
passer.
tomorrow.
He wreaks havoc
All right,
defensively. With
don't
a
look the
9'2"
pick up. I'll call you
standing
tomorrow
reach.
to tell
He
you.
made huge progress,
Okay.
as you mentioned, as the year moved on, playing high-level competition in Germany, despite being
All right,
the
guys,
second
it's just
youngest
me now.
player in this draft after
Sorry,
Cooper
Ryan,
Flag.
had to go
He
to
will
bed
not
early.
turn 19 years old
Tomorrow,
until
so
December
we're actually
18th.
gonna-
Now his shooting is thin frame. Two things he's going to have to work on, but he's been super productive everywhere he's been, and as the type of instincts you can't teach
All right,
at his size
this
and
Hawks
length.
pick
The
is
Bulls
gonna
will
be
be keeping this
traded.
pick, I'm told, by the way.
Okay, so Noah Essengay headed here to the Chicago Bulls, who are keeping their pick, but that may not be the same for the Atlanta Hawks. Let's bring in our senior insider, Shams Charania. Shams, what can you tell us about the 13th overall pick?
13th overall pick is being traded from Atlanta to New Orleans. And New Orleans is sending the number 23 overall pick and a 2026 unprotected first-round pick that's going to be the most favorable out of New Orleans and Milwaukee. So essentially 2 first-round picks for New Orleans to move up. And at the number 13th pick, the New Orleans have had significant interest doing a lot of research on Derek Queen.
Shams, thank you so very much. So it's going to be New Orleans that's picking 13th from the Atlanta Hawks. They already drafted Jeremiah Fears. They traded for Jordan Poole. So, Perk, their backcourt is starting to take shape here as they wait for DeJounte Murray to return. What else do the Pelicans need?
I think they doing a whole rebuild, right? It all starts with Zion Williamson, but you love, they brought in Joe Dumars, and brought in Troy Weaver, and they have pieces there to compete, right? When you look at their squad, Trey Murphy, when you're looking at all those guys, and they're making room. They just drafted the young fella, and they just moved C.J. McCollum, so he's going to come right on in and get some quality minutes. So again, it's all about establishing culture. Right? It's all about getting right, and I love who Zion Williamson just signed with, an OG in the game, Bill Duffy. Right? Bill Duffy don't play no games. 42 years in this, he's going to get him right, and it's going to keep going.
I think you're right that really the Pelicans here, it all really starts and ends with Zion Williamson and what they're able to do. All right, we need to get it over to the podium. We have a special moment with the association.
75 years ago, the first black player was selected with the 13th pick in the NBA draft. It marked the first season with black players in the league. To honor this anniversary, joining Commissioner Silver are family members of those NBA pioneers, along with Hall of Famer and all-time NBA great Oscar Robertson, who is also the first black president of the National Basketball Players Association, and Andre Iguodala, a 4-time NBA champion and the current executive director of the Players Association.
Chuck Cooper, Earl Lloyd, Nat Sweetwater Clifton, 3 NBA pioneers, the league's first black players who 75 years ago made history. As we continue to welcome the next generation of players into the league tonight, we also celebrate the accomplishments of the legends who came before them. Chuck, Kevin, Chetan, your fathers hold a special place in the creation of the modern NBA. They were courageous, they showed resolve, and they represent a through line that continues today, the power of sports to bring people together. We are honored to recognize their lasting contributions to the game. Thank you.
Celebrating the first black players in the NBA. And this is a league that really has been built, I think, Andrea, on inclusivity, on the backs, really, of black players who have made this league what it is today. So it was a nice moment from the NBA there to make sure to recognize the forefathers of the association.
Yeah, on the anniversary of, celebrating the men that have created the opportunity for these young men that we just saw and their ability to be here on this stage, to be their authentic selves and have this moment. I mean, a really special moment from the league.
And to come up and chat with us as well, Jay.
And great to see the great Oscar Robertson up there. He spent some time with Cooper Flagg. Can you imagine how much money Oscar Robertson would make right now if he were playing? One of the greatest players to ever walk the planet.
Yeah. And pretty incredible to see that he spent some time with Cooper Flagg as well. All right, the pick is in. It's time to get it back to Commissioner Silver.
With the 13th pick in the 2025 NBA Draft, the Atlanta Hawks select Derek Queen from the University of Maryland.
Some clear excitement from the fans here in Barclays Center. And right there, Derek told me that sharing this moment with his mom and doing something great for her means absolutely everything to him. His father passed away when he was a child, and Derek says that his mom made so many sacrifices to be able to get to this point. Of course, he was a part of that Montverde 4 team that went 33-0 before staying close to home. He's from Baltimore for college at Maryland, and his head coach, Kevin Willard, says he's like having a 6'9" ball handler on the floor. Maybe Perk. That's why his teammates call him Baby Jokic.
Oh, he can play. He can play.
His teammates call him that name.
Yeah. I mean, look, and I see it, right? He's not your today's big, what everybody looking for, meaning being athletic and being a live threat at the basket. He has a high motor. He's relentless when it comes down to rebounding, and he has that soft, feathery touch around the basket.
You're okay
that
with
nice
it,
flow to
Baby
jump
Jokic
up.
is the nickname you usually use for Alperen Şengün. You're good with 2, yeah?
Yeah,
2
I'm good
Baby
with 2.
Jokic? Okay. I think of the highlight, Jay, of the season maybe, that game-winning buzzer beater against Colorado State, a running floater at 6'9".
Yeah, length and skill is really the headline with Derek Queen. He's got guard skills and terrific post instincts, but he's a mismatch. He's got great hands, great feet. His footwork is excellent, and really a high basketball IQ, a really good touch around the basket. He can post, he can operate in a short roll, and to Perk's point, an excellent rebounder and a fantastic offensive rebounder. He had 15 double-doubles. That was the most in the Big Ten since Jared Sullinger of Ohio State had 500 points, over 500, and over 300 rebounds, the most since Sullinger, and then Greg Oden. Derek Queen, I think he can improve his perimeter shooting, but his skill level as a big guy is really impressive.
His face-up game, his footwork, the body control. Perk, you mentioned the touch. 2 Montverde Academy drafted already tonight. You know, he was doing an interview, Derek Queen, with Gavoni, and I had to write these down because Gavoni asked him who he watches.
Players have been
Queen.
selected.
He named so many different players for specific reasons. He said AD for how he gets to his spots, Melo for the footwork, Shea for how he draws fouls, Jokic for playmaking, and Embiid for using his force. All of those players, that's who he watches to create his game.
And now Derek Queen is with Armonica McNutt.
Derek, standing with your mom, Lisa. Okay, we got to go through your basketball last 3 months or so. The game winner, or in the NCAA tournament, or tonight. I need you to rank both of them.
Definitely tonight. Definitely, because I might hit another game when you never know, but this is a one-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
When you saw him hit that shot, Mom, what did you think in terms of the opportunities that he continues to give himself through the game of basketball?
It's just a blessing, and I just thought I just knew that it was amazing. It was just so amazing.
As you head into your NBA career now, Derek, in your feature you talked about all your confidence. What are you bringing to the organization that you joined?
Winner. I felt like I proved that everywhere I went, and then like a person that's ready to compete and just bring whatever a coach needs.
You guys, Derek, Lisa, thank you so much. Enjoy tonight.
Congratulations to Derek Queen. And meanwhile, the San Antonio Spurs pick is already in. Let's send it back to the podium. We were just told that the commissioner just needs a little bit more time, but I'm seeing the signage that says the pick is in. So San Antonio picking again here. And now the commissioner is truly ready. Let's try one more time, sending it back to the podium and NBA Commissioner Adam Silver.
With the 14th pick in the 2025 NBA Draft, the San Antonio Spurs select Carter Bryant from the University of Arizona.
I think this quote from Arizona head coach Tommy Lloyd sums up Carter Bryant pretty well. He says, quote, he checks 2 boxes that are really hard to check. He's an elite talent and he has elite character. He comes from a basketball family. His father played college ball at Long Beach State. His grandfather is a member of the Deaf USA Basketball Hall of Fame. So his mom is a sign language interpreter, and Carter is fluent in American Sign. And on the court, Jay, he seems like the prototype for what everyone I think is looking for a switchable defender, sort of the perfect basketball build and an even better person. It sounds like he hit the lottery, literally.
Yeah, another 3-and-D guy that we talked about a little bit earlier. His mom played volleyball at Arizona. He comes from an athletic family. He only averaged about 6 points and 4 rebounds a game, but he made 39 threes on the year. He shot 37% from three, and he's a versatile defender. He's got size, he's got length, and he's got excellent athleticism. So as a wing, he's got a tremendous amount of potential as a switchable defender, as you say, and he can hit a standstill three-point shot. So he can guard 1 through 4. He was second on the Arizona team in block shots. His assignment when he was the primary defender, he held his assignment to 37% from the field. He had over 25 blocks and over 25 steals. He was only one of 9 freshmen in the country to accomplish that. And almost half his points came off of three-point field goals. So he can spread the floor, but really where he sets himself apart is as a defender. His versatility, his hands, his length, and he plays hard. And he was willing to play a role this last year at Arizona. He wasn't relied upon to be a primary scorer. He just busted his tail defending, getting to the glass. He wasn't expected to score, but when he had an open shot, he hit it.
Yeah, played limited minutes, but before February, he
Right,
had 15
OKC is
games
on the clock. Hopefully
with
the
less than
Celtics
20
are trading
minutes. And
next
he earned
2
more
hours.
time as the season goes on. After February, just 2 games with less than 20 minutes. He's a high-flying athlete, 39.5-inch max vertical, and a great motor. And like you said, Jay, a consistent three-point shooter.
Yeah, he was top 10 in just about every category.
And he's what the Spurs need. A 3-and-D guy. Reminds me a lot of OG Anunoby.
Yeah.
Now the defending champs, they're on the clock. The Oklahoma City Thunder at number 15. That'll complete the lottery here, the 2025 lottery. But we have seen plenty of talent come out of the first round, even outside of the lottery. You think of Tyrese Maxey, Pascal Siakam, who we just saw in the NBA Finals. Rudy Gobert was the 27th pick. DeJounte Murray, of course. Jimmy Butler. Desmond Bane. Our very own Kendrick Perkins, a gem to come in the first round outside of the top 14. When you're looking at the best available here, who could be the Kendrick Perkins, that gem of tonight?
Nobody can be another Kendrick Perkins. Let's not get crazy here. But there is some value here. Asa Newell, long, athletic, excellent rebounder. Thomas Sorber from Georgetown, a rim protector, a guy who can really control the lane. Jace Richardson, the lefty, he's small, but he can really score. And I really like Kasparas Giacochonis as well. And then Rasheer Fleming, who we talked about, another 3-and-D guy.
And no worries, whoever drafts Kasparas Giacochonis, he is known as KJ, so the fan base will be very...
What's his name again?
You can call him KJ.
Yeah, stay away from that one.
The 2025 draft will be right back.
When you're with Amex Platinum, you can enjoy the Centurion Lounge and access to incredible experiences worldwide. So being a fan for life turns into the trip of a lifetime. That's the powerful backing.
All right, guys, we're 14 picks in already. Hopefully the Celtics will be up soon.
When it comes to the wireless, get more moments to yourself by getting something for that. Switch to free time and get a free 5 for wireless.
Dash. Dash pass by Jordan.
To secure victory.
NBA is on a commercial break. We'll be back in a minute. We should be back in a minute. The pick is the OKC then the Grizzlies.
Oh my gosh. On Tuesday, that the Oklahoma City Thunder Perk were celebrating their first championship in franchise history. We got to work on the footage, though. It was a party, and the footage is a little grainy.
Hey, look, everybody back off the hate on my OKC Thunder. It's their first time, okay? This is not the last one either.
Well, they learned how to pop champagne. They are the NBA champions, but they're also picking here at number 15. The pick is in.
With the 15th pick in the 2025 NBA Draft, the Oklahoma City Thunder select Thomas Sorber from Georgetown University.
This is incredible for Thomas, his mom, and his sister. This family has a really moving story. His mother, Tanae, escaped the Liberian Civil War and came to the United States. And Thomas says that after his father passed away, his mom stepped into the role here of both parents. His dad was an accomplished soccer player, and Thomas attributes his coordination to dad. And really, Jay, he says that scouts note his smooth footwork. All of that comes from dad. And you can see him representing for his community there.
Well, he's a presence in the lane. You know, 6'9", 6'10", with a 7'6" wingspan. He's got a good skill level, and Thomas Sorber has a motor, great hands, and can control the paint. He's a lob threat. He's a good passer, and he catches everything. But a very high-level post defender, very good rebounder. He was the second freshman in Division I rebounding behind Derek Queen of Maryland. And he was the first Big East freshman with over 2 blocks per game and over 50% from the field in the last 25 years. And to that point, like guys that have done that recently were guys like Chet Holmgren and Evan Mobley, averaged over 2 blocks and over 1.5 steals. And he's the first rounder from Georgetown since Otto Porter Jr.
I got to tell you, Jay, this quote, when I heard it, it gives me chills. He told his agent, I'm going to make sure that everyone knows my dad's last name. And now, Andrea, he's going to the NBA champs.
Yeah, he absolutely is. And he fits right in, especially because of his defense. But he's versatile. He's got crafty finishes at the rim. To me, his defense is what really stands out because he defends with strength inside the paint, mobility on the perimeter, and his wingspan impacts the game from everywhere. I mean, this is a player, when you think about OKC, fits right in.
He did suffer a season-ending foot injury, though, Jay.
He did, but with his shot blocking ability, his active hands, he gets blocks and steals. And with that defensive mindset, going with a team that has a defensive mindset in Oklahoma City, like, holy cow. When they defend like crazy now, you have this.
Okay, he's going well.
Okay, going to the champs. There you go. Perk, listen to this.
Another athletic.
Listen to this number, plus 26.5 defensive rating when he's on the court versus off the court, the highest of any D1 player this season. That's the defensive impact that he has on the floor.
Well, he's going to a great organization, right, that just won the championship, and he's going to fit just well. That's his identity.
Absolutely.
I love this right here.
Yeah. It really is. We've said it time and time again, what it's all about. He is currently with Armonica McNutt. We will share that with you a little bit later. But right now, we are joined by the newest member of the Dallas Mavericks, Cooper Flagg. Cooper, we saw the incredible draft parties that are happening across Newport, Maine. We actually got to meet some of the folks in Newport. They joined the show. Yes, they were so excited because they felt like you were representing them, and you weren't just getting drafted, they were getting drafted with you. How many texts you got in your phone last night, right now? What's this been like?
I've gotten a ton. I gave my mom my phones as soon as it started. I haven't even seen them, so just going through this process is incredible. I know I have so much support from back home.
You absolutely do.
Yeah, Cooper, and what has been the most special part of the night so far?
I think just hearing my name, hearing my name get called, sharing that moment with my mom, my dad, and my two brothers.
All right, 2 hours.
I'm gonna remember for the rest of my life.
How about seeing your teammates drafted? How does that make you feel?
That compares pretty high. I think seeing Khan and Kaman both get taken in the top 10 is an incredible feeling. I know how much work they put in. I know how good they are, how good of people they are as well. So it's incredible to see that.
You went down to Dallas for your visit. What was that conversation like?
It was great. It was a great workout down there to get in and meet everybody and see everybody. But I think, talking to Coach Kidd, I think he just has a lot of confidence in me to just come in and be an impact player. He's going to, let me have the ball a little bit, I think, and just try and rock out and do what I can do.
Hey, cool. Tell them up here who gave you a speech at your McDonald's All-American game. Tell them, keep it real, huh?
You had me ready.
He does a pretty good speech. He can fire you up.
He does.
Everybody in Maine is claiming Cooper Flagg.
He doesn't remember. He just said he didn't remember. A non-memorable speech.
Well, we know, Cooper, that it wasn't just Perk that gave you maybe a little bit of a hype-up speech. We saw a video of you with LeBron James a while back, and he told you to make sure to stay in the moment, to be able to sort of soak everything in from this night. It's a little bit difficult to do. Do you think you were able to accomplish that?
I tried my best. That's what I'll say. It was a blur. As soon as I heard it happen, it's been a blur. So trying my best. I don't know, how well I'm able to appreciate it, but it definitely feels so surreal.
Well, we've got your back here because we've had you mic'd the entire night. So we can just take a look back at some of those emotions in real time. Take a listen.
Oh, man. Why is it taking so long?
I'm so proud of you. I love you so much, baby. I love you, bro.
Hey, man. Really happy for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Making sure you knew to keep the commissioner on time.
Yes, I do. I had to watch on. I had to keep checking. I was started a little late.
Let's see that watch
one more time. We started a little late, to be honest.
Wow, blinded by that one. Blinded by that, Jay.
Fun fact, Cooper Flagg, by the time he's 31, he can make up to $900 million.
Yeah, he played at Duke, comes with pressure, and now the #1 overall pick in the draft. How do you process pressure as an athlete?
I think everybody deals with it differently. I think my way that I deal with pressure and I deal with expectations is just using the people around me, using my parents, using my brothers, using my friends from back home who have been with me every step of the way. And that's my support system. That's how I deal with things like that. So, just trying to breathe and deal with things like that. It's definitely not easy, but it's something you got to deal with.
Cooper, you handled it beautifully all season long, and you impact the game in so many different ways. You can score, you can rebound, you can pass. What's your favorite part of the game?
I think I would say my favorite part of the game is doing everything. Just having that ability to just do everything. Block shots, help out your teammate, play offense, just being on both sides of the ball and impacting winning at a high level.
And now we get to see you at Summer League, Cooper. I'm guessing it's going to be your teammates at Duke. Is there anyone who's circled for that first game?
100%. I think Kaman, Khan, And then even some guys, Derek Queen, who I played with in high school, Liam McNeely, those guys, I'll be looking forward to playing against them.
Playing against your college teammates, I have a feeling that the NBA may say, you know what, Dallas, Lakers, that may be a natural first game we could see at Summer League. We look forward to seeing you there. Enjoy the rest of this night. Soak it all in, Cooper. We appreciate the time.
Thank you guys very much. Good?
Thank you so much, Cooper. He had to hit the glam cam before he came up to set here to show off that watch one more time. And there was an entire city and state behind Cooper. This was the scene in Newport the moment he got drafted. But now another pick is in. It's time to get it back to NBA Commissioner Adam Silver and the number 16 pick.
With the 16th pick in the 2025 NBA Draft, the Memphis Grizzlies select Yang Hansen from Zibo, China, and the Qingdao Eagles.
So remember, this pick is on its way to Portland. Yang Hansen, who led the Chinese Basketball Association in blocks and ranked in the top 10 in field goal percentage. But Perk, I just love when a young man who doesn't know whether or not he'll hear his name called in the first round, he still comes and he sits in the stands and he waits for his moment.
Look, is that Rich Paul meeting him? But no, it is about the moment, though. Again, you come in and you just sitting there, you're nervous. You don't know if your name is going to get called, and you're waiting. We just heard Cooper, and he knew he was the #1 pick. He said, well, you know, what's taking so long? And unfortunately, I didn't come, and I missed this moment. I should have been here. I should have had my opportunity to walk across the stage and shake hands with Adam Silver, and that's one of the regrets that I had.
I'm so glad that Yang Hansen,
that's a moment right there, Malika,
came here not knowing whether or not he'd hear his name called necessarily in the first round. A huge jump for him. Decided to come to Barclays Center, and now he gets his moment with NBA Commissioner Adam Silver. Jonathan, what will he bring here for the Portland Trailblazers?
Malika, this is one of the first major surprises of this draft. First of all, happy birthday, Yang Hansen. He turns 20 tomorrow. 7'2", 9'3" standing reach, skilled passer and finisher with an outstanding feel for the game. Think of a Greg Monroe type big man. Yang helped himself as much as anybody in the pre-draft process with his performance at the NBA Draft Combine. The Portland Trailblazers have targeted Yang Hansen for the past 2 years. They traveled to China. They scrimmaged against him in the Las Vegas Summer League. They brought him in. There were some real concerns that he could be drafted at several picks later here, so they decided to take the plunge on Yang Hansen. They're excited about him. He's going to be on the roster this upcoming season. This is a big surprise, huge moment for Chinese basketball. The highest drafted Chinese player since Yao Ming. So incredible moment here in Brooklyn. It's going to be really exciting to see Yang Hansen on the Portland Trailblazers next season.
Yeah, you mentioned Yao Ming, Yi Jinlan, and then now Yang Hansen. A huge moment. And like you said, Jonathan, one of the biggest risers we have seen thus far in this draft. Remember, again, it says the Memphis Grizzlies, but Yang is on his way to the Portland Trailblazers here as a part of this deal that sends Cedric Coward to the Memphis Grizzlies, that 11th pick this evening. And then the Trailblazers receive, in addition to Yang, the 2028 first-round pick via Orlando, and then 2 future second-round picks here as well. We'll leave it up for a second. Make sure you can take a photo. Everyone's got it, understands the trade. But this is really, really interesting here, Jay, when you see a player who maybe didn't know whether or not this was going to happen tonight, and here he is.
Yeah, it's nice that he was here. But to Jonathan Cavoni's point, it's a surprise.
Yeah.
You know, he was slotted as a second-round draft pick, but it goes to show for Portland, when you target a player and that's who you want, what difference does it make? Take him when you have the opportunity to take him.
Absolutely. And now Jonathan Cavoni is saying he is going to be playing for this Portland Trailblazers roster this upcoming season. Let's turn to the Minnesota Timberwolves. On the clock now here, Kendrick Perkins. We saw them make a run to the Western Conference Finals this year, fall short against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Here we're checking in with their draft headquarters as they deliberate, make some decisions. We'd heard them as a team floated even potentially for Kevin Kevin Durant. This is a group looking to be able to make a splash, once again, eclipse a Western Conference Finals run in a very, very crowded conference.
I would like to see them draft another ball handler, but a big ball handler. I don't know what's out there right now, Jay, Drell, y'all could dive into that, but I believe they need another facilitator, another point guard. Be interested to see who they take at this pick.
Well, the pick is in here for the Timberwolves. Let's send it back to the podium once again, and NBA Commissioner Adam Silver.
With the 17th pick in the 2025 NBA Draft, the Minnesota Timberwolves select Johan Biranji from Strasbourg, France, and the Olympia Club in Slovenia.
French center.
Johan Beranger, he was born in France, but he played last season in Slovenia. And as a kid, he played soccer, but he actually began playing basketball when he grew out of his cleats and he couldn't find any new ones that were big enough for his feet here. That wasn't until 2021 that he really started playing, and he actually starts every morning watching NBA highlights. Mainly, he focuses on Giannis, who he started playing in 2021. Giannis won a championship in 2021, and really his calling card, it is shot blocking here. Jonathan, take us through his game.
Malika, like you said, Johan Beranger is the best shot blocker in this draft. Think of a Mitchell Robinson or a Nick Claxton type switchable, rim protecting, rim running big man that every team in the NBA needs right now. He has incredible physical tools at over 7 feet with a 7'4" wingspan, a 9'3" standing reach, and outstanding mobility covering ground on both ends of the floor. Now, Johan Beranger has only been playing basketball for 4 years. He doesn't turn 19 until November. Minnesota is very excited about his long-term upside. The strides that he made as this year moved on in his first professional season in Europe was really astounding. Johan Beranger has huge upside to develop long-term.
Not to mention joining a fellow Frenchman in Rudy Gobert in Minnesota. And French players have really been headlining and dominating the draft we've seen in recent years. Of course, you think of Victor Wembanyama at the top here, but the NBA has long pulled talent from France. The past 2 seasons, though, it's especially been the case. 2023, of course, you have Victor Wembanyama, selected by the San Antonio Spurs, and later won Rookie of the Year. Wemby wasn't the only Frenchman drafted that year, though. Bilal Coulibaly was picked at 7, Ryan Rupert at 43, Sidi Sissoko at 44, and in 2024, the trend only strengthened. 4 picks in the first round coming from France. Zachary Rissochet, Alex Sarr, Tijan Salon, and then Pacome Dadier as well. And now you see 2 French players drafted this evening as well. I love the French music that we're using along with this too. The NBA draft will continue here.
All right. We are 17 picks. We got 13 more to go. And the Celtics might not trade. Let's stay where they are. I would like to trade 18, 19, 20, 21. Let's see. Make sure to subscribe to the channel.
From a baseball game. Just really Field, April's level on limited plan, I'm afraid, but it goes up. I know.
Insurance.
All right, we'll see if the Celtics are picking. All right, back.
Our next WNBA game is Sunday afternoon on ESPN and ESPN Deportes. Angel Reese and the Sky take on the Sparks. It's at 4 o'clock Eastern. Coverage tips with WNBA Countdown. That's at 3:30. And then you can see tomorrow's stars like Dylan Harper and Cooper Flagg take the court for the first time at NBA 2K26 Summer League. The NBA Summer League will be July 10th through 20th on ESPN and NBA TV. You can get your tickets today at NBAevents.com. Hey, let's check in with our senior insider, Shams Charania, as the Washington Wizards are on the clock here. Shams, I understand you have some news for us.
Yeah, this pick at number 18 is actually being traded to the Utah Jazz, and the Utah Jazz want a shooter at this position, someone that can help them. They're identifying Walter Clayton Jr. out of Florida at this pick potentially, but that process is still going on. But this number 18th overall pick is going to the Utah Jazz.
Okay, the Washington Wizards pick here is headed to the Utah Jazz. Jay, Shams talking about circling potentially Walter Clayton Jr. here.
National champion. And he, coming out of high school, he was a coveted football player as a free safety. He was recruited by Florida as a football player before they ever thought of him as a basketball player. He wound up going to Iona and playing for Rick Pitino. He's MAC Player of the Year, and after 2 years there, going to the NCAA tournament, transferred to Florida, played his last 2 years there, and averaged well over 18 points a game his 2 seasons there, and obviously won a national championship under Todd Golden last year.
39% from three, 39% off the catch and off the dribble, 60% at the rim, and he's got a clutch gene that can't be taught. 35 points in the NCAA tournament in clutch time. That led all players. He made some big-time plays down the stretch for that Florida team on their road to the national championship.
Yeah, I feel like he really rose in the past couple of months since the NCAA tournament. You mentioned the football prowess, Jay. We have some footage.
Well, just a great athlete, obviously, to be that proficient in 2 sports. He just wasn't heavily recruited. There he is as a free safety, and that's where he was heavily recruited by big-time college football programs. He just wasn't able to get where he wanted initially coming out of high school in basketball. And that's why he went to Iona. I think playing for Rick Pitino really benefited.
And that explains his mindset and what we witnessed in the tournament. And that's why he was crowned champion on the biggest stage. Because when you look at a lot of great basketball players, they all pretty much play football at some point of their life.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. Football I did. Tight end D, and we'll talk about that later. But but playing football put a different type of killer mentality to you that you just, you can't overlook.
Yeah, he wasn't the only Gator to play football. Elijah Martin was a heck of a football player in high school as well.
And headed again to the Utah Jazz. I think if he is the selection, you think about a Jazz team that went 8-25 in clutch time this season, the worst record in the NBA. Someone with that kind of prowess down the stretch could really help.
He rises to the occasion in big moments. Football also makes sense because he plays with great pace, change of speed, but he's also very physical. He's not afraid to get into the bodies of defenders when he has the ball in his hands, but also when he's making cuts.
Pick is in. Let's send it
We
back
have
to
another
the
trade to announce. As part of a deal to be finalized later, the Portland Trail Blazers are trading to the Memphis Grizzlies the draft rights to Cedric Coward, the 11th pick, and the Grizzlies are trading to the Trail Blazers the draft rights to Young Hansen, the 16th pick. And with the 18th pick in the 2025 NBA Draft, the Washington Wizards select Walter Clayton Jr. from the University of Florida.
He gets the call and we get to see it in real time.
Absolutely. Emotions building up. You can tell he's been waiting to get his name called. And all of a sudden, he get a golden opportunity to go to Washington. And that young man is going to perform. He's going to get those minutes. They just traded Jordan Poole. He's going to go in there. He's going to be who he is and a guy that's going to produce at a high level. NBA
we're halfway there. We're almost
This is the confusing part about the hats. Remember, Shams reported this being rerouted here, heading to Utah. So the Final Four most outstanding player and his daughter, Leilani, he got buckets in the NCAA tournament. Everybody took notice, Andrea. And to say he averaged 22 points in the big dance doesn't do his performance justice. He put up 30 in the Elite Eight against Texas Tech, 34 in the national semifinal against Auburn. Incredible score.
Washington, Utah, it doesn't matter. He's ready to play on whatever team that he is going to, and he's efficient in every situation with the ball in his hands. Pick and roll ball handler, spot up, off screens, ISO. He's also very dangerous in transition. He hunts shots in transition, which also opens up opportunities for his teammates in early offense.
And Malika, to your point on the NCAA tournament, he had 3 30-point games in the tournament on the way to the national championship. He had 35 clutch points in one tournament. He set the single season record for scoring in the Florida program, and they've had some great pros, especially under Billy Donovan, now under Todd Golden. But with Walter Clayton Jr., you're talking about an elite shot maker, a guy that can score on all 3 levels. He's got speed. He's not big, but he's got speed. He's got strength. And he's got a lot of pop into that shot. Andrea, when you mentioned in transition, he can come down and he steps right into a 3-point shot.
Yep.
Or he can use his shiftiness to get around and get to the basket, where he's a pretty creative finisher around the bucket. I think he needs to become, he improved as a defender, but I think he still needs to become a better defender because he is undersized, so he's got to be a little bit more disruptive. But there's a lot to like with his offensive game.
And look at his baby girl, Leilani, his girlfriend, Tatiana.
That's Daddy. Look at him.
Yeah, he's look, Dad's up there. That's right. That is absolutely right. Dad's up there.
And you know who else is proud? The Utah Jazz, the fans of the Utah Jazz. And they should be. Think about it. Ace Bailey, right? And now Walter Clayton Jr. 2 exciting players, right, that is going to Utah. Austin Ames, first-time lead, as far as him being the lead in charge, he actually making a little splash and a little noise in this draft right now.
Walter Clayton Jr. is now with Armonica McNutt.
Walter, national champion and a member of the 2025 NBA Draft class. What experience did you gain at the University of Florida in terms of winning that's going to help you step into your NBA career with confidence?
Man, I feel like I, gained a lot. Just being around those guys, my teammates, I don't think people understand, just the chemistry we had on and off the court and the time that was spent together.
As you begin this journey, what's going to be key and what will motivate you?
My daughter, for sure. She's been motivating me for a year and a half now that she's been here, so definitely my daughter.
She's beautiful, Walter. Congratulations.
Thank you.
His daughter is his motivation. You can see that maybe she's not taking in every moment of what's happening right now, but someday she's going to be able to look back to see this footage, see these high fives, and say, yeah, I was there the moment that I got to see my dad be drafted into the NBA. This is incredible for this family. And what a year, Jay. A national champion and to be drafted, to have your daughter there to see it all in this past year. He says she's 1.5. That is a really accomplished last couple of months here for Walter Clayton Jr.
Yeah, it's storybook. And I think, Malika, you've done such a great job of chronicling the emotion of this evening. I mean, the draft is about realizing a dream of getting to the NBA level. Tomorrow starts, delivering on that dream.
Absolutely.
But tonight's really a celebration of what it took to get here. And Walter Clayton has had a tremendous journey. I mean, it's an incredible journey to go from really being overlooked in high school as a basketball player. He wasn't overlooked as a football player, but as a basketball player, having to go to Iona. And then through the transfer portal, this is one of the beauties of the transfer portal. You're overlooked in high school, you prove yourself, and then you get to the level that you originally wanted, and you kill it there. And that's what Walter Clayton Jr. did at Florida.
Well put.
And there's guys that's not taking it for granted. And they had a stat like 5 years ago, real numbers. And it was one out of like every 485,000 athletes make it in any professional sports. So, like, you're one-on-one. So when you see these emotions, it's like, do you know how many guys out there since the game has went global, right, that are trying to come into the league or make it to the league? I just love these emotions. I know the feeling. I know the hard work you had to put in, having to listen to the doubters, the haters, and all of a sudden you here on this stage getting drafted.
And I know we keep showing it over and over again, but it's because it is a story that I think so many people can hold a piece of.
Thank you
You
very
have
much.
a dream, a childhood dream, but not that many people can see that dream realized in just one moment, in one day, like at the NBA draft. The next pick is in. Let's send it back to the commissioner.
With the 19th pick in the 2025 NBA Draft, the Brooklyn Nets select Nolan Traoré from Charenton, France, and the Saint-Quentin basketball in France.
Nolan Traoré, another French player drafted tonight. He comes to the NBA after spending last season playing for France's top pro league. And his teammates in France compared his IQ and compared his speed to Russell Westbrook. This is the third French player we've seen drafted this evening, Jonathan. He had a breakout game at Hoop Summit, but you really, really love this young man's passing.
Malika, Nolan Traoré is one of the best ball handlers and passers in this draft class. He's a jet in the open court for whom the game comes easily, operating out of pick and roll with his ability to change speeds and find teammates on the move. Now, turnovers, defense, scoring efficiency were issues this year that hampered his stock, but Traoré showed significant promise at the youth and FIBA levels. He dropped 45 points at the ANGT on Barcelona. He had that great game at Hoop Summit, like you said, and he has significant upside to grow into it. 6'4". He draws some comparisons to players like Jeff Teague and Dennis Schroeder at the same age, thanks to his speed, his pace, his vision. 19 years old. I'm told, by the way, the Brooklyn Nets are keeping this pick. They're going to pair Nolan Traoré and Yegor Demin in the same backcourt. International dynamic group. 3 more picks to go for Sean Marks. Let's see what he does the rest of this first round.
Yeah, 5 first-round picks, and as Bobby Marks said, so far Brooklyn's plan is keeping them all. Here he is, his moment with NBA Commissioner Adam Silver, and I love this. Nolan, his mom says, can be a little bit of an introvert, but his mom is fiery, so she pushes him to get out of his shell, to make sure he shows that personality that she knows and loves from her son. As I mentioned earlier, there is a French flavor to this draft. 3 French players already chosen tonight. Yohan Beringer, Noah Senge, and now Nolan Traoré.
Great job, Malika. I forgot you. French is your second language.
I took like 3 classes. It is definitely not. Brooklyn so far excited by what they are seeing tonight. You can see their draft headquarters here at their training center right here in Brooklyn where we are sitting, congratulating each other. And again, 5 first-round picks and planning to hang on to them, at least so far.
And they should be excited about Traoré's 6'8" wingspan. He's got a low dribble. You heard Gavoni talking about his passing, but he also led his French team in blocks and blocks per game. So there's a defensive aspect to his game that he's also bringing to Brooklyn.
So the Brooklyn Nets make their 2nd pick of the evening, and now it's the Miami Heat that are on the clock. Remember, Miami went 37-45 this season. They struggled a bit after the Jimmy Butler trade. They got got swept in the first round after making it out of the play-in tournament. You can see here again just a reminder of the Jimmy Butler trade that sent Jimmy to the Golden State Warriors after months of sort of a back and forth over whether or not Jimmy Butler wanted to stay in Miami or would he be his most productive there. He said he needed to find his basketball joy, and it didn't lie in Miami anymore. But after not trading for Kevin Durant, Perk, which was sort of floated as maybe a potential for Miami, how should they approach not only this pick, but also this summer?
Well, I mean, it's odd because you look at the past couple summers and they didn't pursue Damian Lillard, right? They passed on Jrue Holiday when he became available. And then now you look at Kevin Durant, they don't get that done. You move on from Jimmy Butler, and it's like, yeah, you're a team and we respect your culture and you're talking about your rings, but you're not making it about rings to us, because if you were, you would be making moves.
Jay, do you see them needing to go and get a big star here in order to be able to really compete in an Eastern Conference that we saw the defending Eastern champs are now going to be significantly hampered next year?
Yeah, but they also continue to draft toughness, and they've done that in the past. It's served them really well. I mean, the best available player, I think, is Asa Newell of Georgia. But you could see him going with, like, one of the players that I think is really interesting is Kasparas Giacochonis of Illinois, because of his ability to operate and pick and roll and like how the vision he has as a passer. But another guy I would look at is Rasheer Fleming of St. Joseph's. You know, another 3-and-D guy with incredible length and athleticism, can knock down a perimeter shot.
All right.
Like, you know, we're seeing 3-and-D guys have tremendous value. Two of them that we talked about are already off the board, and Coward and Bryant. And
that's certainly who they could be looking at this evening, but we know that they have an entire summer ahead of them. For more on their plans, I want to bring in our senior insider, Shams Charania. Shams, what more can you tell us about what Miami is looking toward this offseason, and even starting with tonight?
After missing out on Kevin Durant, the Miami Heat are remaining active. And when you look into free agency, one name to keep an eye on that I'm told they are expected to be a potential suitor for is Warriors restricted free agent Jonathan Kuminga. And the Warriors are comfortable potentially bringing Kuminga back in free agency, but they also are keeping an open mind as far as working through potential sign and trade possibilities. So Jonathan Kuminga, a couple other targets potentially for the Heat, whether it's in free agency or trade here over the next week or two.
Interesting. All right, we'll certainly be keeping an eye on that. Kuminga potentially a name to watch. Perk, what do you think of that?
You know how I feel about Kuminga, Malika. I mean, I feel like he's a guy that has a really high ceiling, all-star level ceiling when getting the opportunity. But again, he doesn't move the needle right now for me, for as a guy that you could bring in that's going to help elevate you to a championship level. Right, and so when I look at the Miami Heat, again, we're talking about a team who is built on rings, right? They talk about rings, you know, it's really championship or bust. There's no in-between for them, and so I just don't see that guy move. I don't see Kuminga moving the needle for them right now.
Well, Jonathan Givony right now is reporting that Miami is keeping this pick, so we'll see who they select. Their pick is in. It's time to get it back to the podium. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver, take it away.
With the 20th pick in the 2025 NBA Draft, the Miami Heat select Kasparas Giacochonis from Vilnius, Lithuania, and the University of Illinois.
Kasparas Giacochonis, Perk, nicknamed KJ.
Yeah.
You got that one?
I wasn't going to even try. I was going to work on it this summer.
Well, he was born in Lithuania, and he started playing basketball when he was 3 years old. He moved to Spain when he was 16, and he played for FC Barcelona from 2022 to 2024. And he says his proudest basketball achievement, it was winning the gold medal with Lithuania at the FIBA U16 European Championship. But I would imagine, Jay, that this moment, it has to be right up there.
Absolutely. Another Lithuanian lottery pick, the last one, Jonas Valanciunas, who went 5th overall in 2011. And this guy has a ton of skill. Another guard that with positional size that's really good in pick and roll situations. Very skilled, excellent footwork. Pressure tended to bother him a little bit, especially toward the end of the season. He didn't have some of his better games in the last 10, 14 games. But such a good passer. The only problem, he had a lot of turnovers. He had 123 turnovers. That was the 5th most in Division I. But you put him in a pick and roll situation, his vision is really impressive. He plays with pace.
30th pick
he can decelerate. I think he's a much better shooter than his numbers indicated over the last part of the season. He wound up shooting 32% from 3 overall, but he struggled over the last portion of the season and wasn't drilling shots like he did earlier. But his coach, Brad Underwood, feels he's going to be a better NBA player than he was a college player. You saw the pass there between the legs. He's got a really good feel for the game and a really good feel for reading situations.
Malika, I had Kasparas Yakuchonis as the 11th rated player on my big board. This is a slide for him, but he's going to be thrilled where he ended up because in Miami Heat need a ball handler and playmaker in his mode in the worst possible way. Kasparas Yakuchonis is the best pick-and-roll playmaker in this draft. Think of a cross between Austin Reeves and Andrew Nembhard. Great size for a guard, can play 1, 2, and 3. Shot maker, brings real toughness. He's a competitor. He can. This is going to be a great pick for Miami, who don't traditionally draft international players. So I'm excited to see how he pairs with Tyler Hero, with Nikola Jovic, another international player. This is an awesome pick for the Miami Heat.
Yeah, Gavoni, there were 2 freshmen this season that averaged 15 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists. Kasparas Yakuchonis and Cooper Flagg. He's in good company with a ton of potential as an NBA player.
Absolutely. Led Illinois in points per game and assists per game here. The 2025 NBA draft continues, and so does the fashion.
Gonna head to commercial break. Thank you guys for listening. We still got 9 picks until 21st. All right, 21st pick right now. I'm gonna predict right now who everyone's gonna get. So Wizards need. Wizards need a center and a point guard. Center. So if I was going to pick, I would say they would get maximum right now, and then 22 pick, the Brooklyn Nets again.
For years, everyone thought Verizon had
Make sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications so you don't miss an upload from me or a live stream.
raised us on our own. Is that all right?
this level I'm going to plan. I know. I think I'm sitting in the shower through my office. Come on, Charlie. Use your new dog. Redwall gives you win.
All right, back. Here we go.
With the 21st pick in the 2025 NBA Draft, the Utah Jazz select Will Riley from Kitchener, Canada, and the University of Illinois.
And so Illinois players go back-to-back. KJ and Will are now the first pair of Illinois first-round picks since Darren Williams and Luther Head in 2005. And you can see him enjoying this moment with his family, his older sisters. He has 3 of them, Brittany, Justine, and Ashley. And he credits his mom, Tracy, for really influencing his career. She was a hockey player, and Will says that she gave him the competitive edge. An elite track and field coach. It's a really special moment for a athletic family here. But on the floor, Jay, he's got great size, 6'8". He was the 2024-25 Big Ten Sixth Man of the Year here. And it looks like he never turns the ball over.
Is he the first Canadian taken in this draft today?
I believe that
Canadian
to be the
first-round
case.
pick. You know, when you mentioned the Big Ten Sixth Man of the Year, the guys that won that award were Aaron Wiggins and Draymond Green, former Big Ten Sixth Men that did pretty well in the NBA.
Champions.
But Will Riley's very, very talented, and he's a skilled shot maker. You know, he's a good passer. He can operate out of pick and roll, but he's a worker. You know, you could argue, hey, he's not an elite NBA athlete, but the way he played his last 7 games, I think was really impressive. He got off to a good start with Illinois, had some really good games, but the last 7 games, he averaged over 16 points a game and shot right at 50% from the field. He shoots 33% from 3. I think that's an area where he can really improve because he can make shots. And he was only 29% as a spot-up shooter, but he's got a lot of talent. He and Yakachonis going back-to-back says a lot about the job that Brad Underwood did with this Illinois program.
And 2 Illinois players going back-to-back. I appreciate what Brad Underwood said about Will Riley. Will just hoops. Nothing phases him. He's got a gift to not be worried about a missed shot or a bad half. And I watched the Alabama game, Jay, and you could tell he wanted it. He wanted to play well. He struggled early in the game. He missed a couple free throws, missed his first 4 jumpers, still finished with 18 points. He was unbothered when he got knocked to the ground by Mark Sears and the physicality of the game. He just got back up and kept playing. I think he'll bring that mentality to the next level.
That's a great point. And, you know, when you watch him play, you're not saying, well, geez, you know, I don't see a lack of athleticism. I was surprised. He didn't perform as well as I expected in the lane agility and some of the measurables when he went to the combine. I feel he's a better athlete than he performed there, but there's no denying he's a very, very talented basketball player.
Yeah, and he came out with flair, 31 points in the season debut, the most by a freshman in Illinois debut program history. So that was an impressive way to start. And now we flip the page. I know it says Atlanta Hawks behind us, but you know who's on the clock. It is the Brooklyn Nets once again. Shams, what more light can you shed on their plans as this evening continues with 5 first-round picks?
5 first-round picks. They have 3 first-rounders left in this draft, including right here at number 22. The Nets believe this is part of the process. They've still got a young, retooling, rebuilding team. And so Nets front office, led by general manager Sean Marks, they've accumulated a ton of assets, a ton of flexibility, and that helped them get Terrence Mann and this number 22 pick because they had the salary cap space to essentially take a talented wing player in Mann as a salary dump. So the Nets, as of right now, are going to continue to plan on picking here with these 5 first-round picks they have.
Shams, thank you very much. I'd like to bring back in our front office insider, Bobby Marks, if we could. Bobby, I know this is a position that you don't know all that well, a lot of first-round picks for Brooklyn. But what do you make of their nights? If I had to get one, Bobby, I just had to get one. Sorry, my friend.
I thought we were done with that joke here. Listen, I think Brooklyn has done really well. Certainly, they've got a little international flavor, but there's still a lot of value on the board right now. Certainly a player like Asa Newell we've talked about from Montverde, from Georgia here. They can go a lot of different directions as far as Liam McNeely is still on the board from UConn. We've already gone guard. Do they go big here? This is a team that basically has Cam Johnson and Nick Claxton coming under contract, and they've got to make a decision on the restricted free agency of Cam Thomas.
So some decisions to be made here for Brooklyn. This is their draft headquarters. There's been a lot of cheering and a lot of high-fiving coming from Brooklyn tonight, Jay. But Bobby mentioned Asa Newell. You're a big fan of his.
I think he's really talented. He plays with great energy, really good offensive rebounder, averaged over 3 offensive rebounds a game. That was second only to Janai Broome of Auburn in the Southeastern Conference. And he scored 140 second-chance points. Yeah, he's got tremendous length, impacts the game on both ends of the floor. It'll be interesting to see where he goes.
Active offensive rebounder, averaged 3.3 offensive rebounds a game, which was right behind Janai Broome for most in the SEC. He plays with a relentless motor on both ends, and he plays above the rim.
I love hearing from all of the Brooklyn fans that have come in tonight and are making their picks, and they're
officially 6 picks away now.
They're not born, so
they're not. A few of them going like this, but no, I just enjoy the authenticity of that in real time. But it feels like the worst place you can be in the NBA is kind of caught in the middle here. It feels like one way or the other, Brooklyn's going to have to pick a direction here coming up in the post-Kyrie, post-James Harden, post-Kevin Durant era.
I think they're picking that side right now, right? I think they're following the blueprint, in my opinion, of Sam Presti and drafting, right? And having a belief in building something. I think, everybody, at some point you got to start over. You can't just keep sticking with guys, bringing in vets and things of that nature. Sometimes you got to trust your young core. And especially watching this Oklahoma City Thunder team, that gave life and belief and hope to a lot of organizations like the Brooklyn Nets.
Absolutely. Even watching Indiana and the way that they were able to build and the pieces that they were able to bring in that weren't necessarily always the top picks here. It sounds like a good time, Jay, to check in on your best available as Brooklyn continues to mull this over.
Asa Newell is still the top guy on my best available list that's still on the board. Jace Richardson is still up there. The only issue with Jace Richardson, a lefty from Michigan State, his father Jason Richardson played a long time in the NBA, is he's undersized. He's a really small 2-guard. And I still think Rasheer Fleming, St. Joseph's, I'd be very surprised if he's not a first-round pick, given as a 3-and-D guy with tremendous length and an outstanding athlete that can knock down a 3. But there's still some really good players and good athletes available, whether it's Drake Powell in North Carolina or Maxime Renaud, who's a big guy from Stanford, who's an outstanding rebounder, averaged over 20 points a game. There are a number of different ways that they can go here.
Well, let's see if they agree with you here, Jay. The pick is in. Let's send it back to NBA Commissioner Adam Silver and see who is heading to Brooklyn.
With the 22nd pick in the 2025 NBA Draft, the Atlanta Hawks select Drake Powell from the University of North Carolina.
This pick, of course, Drake Powell is actually going to Brooklyn. 6'5", 3-and-D wing out of UNC. He's known as an elite defender here, Andrea, and he says he models his game after Drew Holiday. Do you see any similarities?
Absolutely. He shot 40% on catch-and-shoot threes this season. That was the best on his team, 10th best in ACC. And when you talk about the defensive side, he held ball handlers to pick-and-roll situations to 32% from the field. He's an elite on-ball defender, catch-and-shoot threes. He's a great athlete, had some of the best numbers we've seen in the combine when it comes to his max vertical.
Yeah, and he killed it at the combine in all of the testing. You know, he was #1 in standing and max vertical. He was 5th in the three-quarter court sprint, 6th in the shuttle run. Lane agility, he was top 10. Really showed well athletically. But your point about making shots, you know, they played off him most of the year because they were worried about R.J. Davis. But when he had open shots, he knocked them down. A good deal of potential for Drake Powell.
Drake Powell headed right here to Brooklyn. The NBA draft.
One more break. Do the last break. I'll let you know what happens after this. We're at the 3-hour mark, and we're only at the 23rd pick so far. Hopefully 3 hours, 30 minutes. We should be back in a minute. We should be back soon. Make sure to subscribe, like this video if you're really looking forward to it.
After the first round of the NBA draft concludes, it's SportsCenter with our friend Scott Van Pelt. He'll have complete post-NBA draft coverage.
Go on.
on ESPN and the ESPN app. All right. It's now time for the number 23 pick, but just a reminder that this pick is actually heading to Atlanta because they traded the number 13 pick to the New Orleans Pelicans. They also traded an unprotected 2026 first-round pick, the most favorable of the New Orleans and Milwaukee picks, all according to Shams Charania. That unprotected 2026 first-round pick, it could be very valuable for Atlanta here. Mark, we talked about teams like the Atlanta Hawks really needing to, after making it to the Eastern Conference Finals in 2021, it seems like now is the time to turn it up a notch. There is a vacancy in their conference, and they have some decisions to make about how to get up to the next level.
Yeah, absolutely. But look, they're starting off on the right foot. You got a great coach, a hell of a coach in Quinn Snyder, right? Trae Young don't get enough love like he should. He's a guy that's putting up big numbers. But then you go out and you get Kristaps Porzingis, right? You already have the defensive player of the year that's over there that's locking things up. So you have something to build on, and I think the Orlando Magic was the ones that set the tone. While we were waiting to see what Kevin Durant was go get traded or Giannis, all of a sudden, boom, they make a move and bring in Desmond Bane, and then now we're seeing teams starting to follow, especially in the Eastern Conference.
I'm glad you brought up Kristaps Porzingis. Busy week here for Atlanta. It's time to send it back to Commissioner Silver.
We have another trade to announce. As part of a deal to be finalized later, the Washington Wizards are trading to the Utah Jazz the draft rights to Walter Clayton Jr., the 18th pick, and the Jazz are trading to the Wizards the draft rights to Will Riley, the 21st pick. And with the 23rd pick in the 2025 NBA Draft, the New Orleans Pelicans select Asa Newell from the University of Georgia.
So a Georgia guy staying in Georgia because, again, Asa Newell headed here to the Atlanta Hawks. He led Georgia in scoring and rebounding last season, was also a part of that Montverde 4 team. And I just love this quote from Georgia coach Mike White. He says he's the same guy every single day. His facial expression, it is not going to change. He consistently shows up. And not only does he enjoy making his own ice cream, which I find so much fun. Maybe we can enjoy that at our next Atlanta Hawks game. He's got quite the unique hobby. He's also good around the rim. He's sort of an everything you want, I think, in a modern big man here, Andrea.
Good around the rim, Malika. He is great around the rim. Finishes over 70% in the paint at the rim. He's an active offensive rebounder. Even when he can't get the offensive rebound, he keeps the ball alive for opportunities for his teammates. He has an extremely high motor on both ends of the floor, and he's an elite athlete, explosive leaper, plays above the rim. Jay, he's an exciting player, truly talented, and he's fun to watch.
Yeah, Andrea, I mean, your point about his energy is a great one. He just plays with this relentless energy, and he certainly has talent, but he impacts the game at both ends. Big-time offensive rebounder, and he's really an excellent cutter. His mobility, his speed, and you say, you know, you got to say around the rim. I mean, he's above the rim. He had 58 dunks on the season. He had a ton of putbacks. I think he was 5th in the NCAA in putback points. 7 double-doubles. And he was a very good defender. His assignment when he's a primary defender shot only 36%. So with his length, athleticism, and more importantly, his want to, like, it's just this relentless effort that he plays with, and relentless is really hard to deal with, and that'll serve him well. If he plays with relentless energy in the NBA, he's going to get a lot done.
Not to mention, he was born in Atlanta, right? So this is
welcome to the city.
This is a real
That's my city, Kirk. That's my city. Just so you know.
ATL, making sure you know. Oh, you hear that? That's Al Duncan being very, very excited here for this pick. Asa Newell headed here to the Atlanta Hawks, and now the Oklahoma City Thunder are back on the clock. It is so rare, Jay, I think, to see a championship team, to be talking about them this often in the first round. It's hard to think of another team as well positioned as the Oklahoma City Thunder.
They've done such a great job of having draft assets, not only now but out into the future. And Sam Presti and his staff do a tremendous job. They've not only had a plan, but they stick to the plan. And they certainly draft talent. They get talent, but that talent has character. and the character shows on the floor. Like I was mesmerized by their defense all year long.
Yeah.
The ball pressure, the way they rotate. Like some of the closeouts they had when the ball would be, Indiana would reverse the ball in the finals were textbook. And you know, no other team played as hard and as together on the defensive end as Oklahoma City.
But it seemed like Sam Presti, he's going to have to make some business decisions, right? You're drafting some guys right now. Obviously, you got guys like Jalen Williams who came in off the bench. I believe he was the 34th pick. Aaron Wiggins, the 55th pick in the draft. And now, I believe Sam got to make a decision and do those guys a favor and trade them to another destination where they can, become starters and get a chance to earn their money and not bring in these new draft picks that he's drafting tonight.
Let's see what Tim Presti has up his sleeve. Our senior insider, Shams Charania, back with us. Shams, what you got?
Yeah, this pick is actually being traded to the Sacramento Kings. So the Sacramento Kings have acquired the number 24th pick in this NBA draft, sources tell me. And they are targeting Nick Clifford. They believe in finding players that are tough, have grittiness, and they're looking at a few players, but that is one, Nick Clifford, that is at the top of their minds right now. But 24th overall pick now going to the Sacramento Kings.
Okay, the Sacramento Kings are now acquiring this pick. Shams, thank you so very much for that insight. Again, the Oklahoma City Thunder are flush right now, so it makes sense that they are looking at other ways to continue to improve. You're going to see OKC. This pick is headed to the Sacramento Kings. Let's get it back to Commissioner Silver.
We have another trade to announce. As part of a deal to be finalized later, the Atlanta Hawks are trading to the Brooklyn Nets the draft rights to Drake Powell, the 22nd pick. And with the 24th pick in the 2025 NBA draft, the Oklahoma City Thunder select Nick Clifford from Colorado State University.
And how fitting that he is wearing Sacramento Kings purple as he hears his name called here. This is a young man who went back to school at Colorado State last season, and it really paid off. He had entered the 2024 draft before getting feedback from scouts, going back, applying it. He was told to improve his playmaking, and he did. He went from 2.9 to 4.4 assists a game. And now Nick, who is named after his father's favorite player, Dominique Wilkins, he is a first-round pick, Jay.
Yeah, he started his career at Colorado before transferring to Colorado State, and Nick Clifford really has a versatile skill set. Yeah, he's very efficient, and one of the great things about him is he got better year after year.
Yeah.
He started his career out, he averaged 6-7 points at Colorado and wound up averaging 19 and about 10 rebounds per game last season at Colorado State. Good passer, gets some steals and blocks, plays both ends of the floor, but he's one of those guys that's efficient, he knows how to play. He can shoot it off the catcher, the dribble. I still think he can improve his three-point shooting. He wasn't as consistent as I think he needs to be going forward. But another guy that, man, he plays hard, and that shows in his rebounding. But we talked about his versatility. He can get to the rim. He's got a good middle game. He's got good strength. I think he's an underrated athlete and an underrated defender. But the fact that he plays so hard and, grabbing 10 rebounds a game at his size at 6'5" or 6'6", that's a translatable skill to the NBA.
Averaging nearly a double-double as a guard, Andrea, that's impressive.
Well, Jay, you just talked about as well his improvement over his career. 15 of his 25 career double-doubles came this season. He gets to his spots with ease, tough, efficient scorer who can attack the paint off the dribble, and played at Colorado State, but he had big-time games this season against Maryland, against Ole Miss, filling up the stat sheet, not just scoring. 21 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 blocks against Maryland is just an example of how he can impact the game in multiple categories.
And you can see how he improved from Colorado to Colorado State, increasing across every category. It's one of those bet on yourself. You don't often see someone go from Colorado to a Colorado State. You don't necessarily always see that sort of cross-state jump, but he made it, and it worked.
It did work, and he reminds you a little bit of his profile, kind of a Jaime Jaquez type player.
Good
I'm not saying they're exactly alike, but sort of that toughness and bringing it on both ends of the floor. And he had a great year for Colorado State this last year, one of the best players in the country.
And again, now headed to the Sacramento Kings. I can see the trade proposed there. Let's get to Orlando's headlines here, because they've had a really interesting last couple of weeks. Perk, you mentioned them as the team that sort of got the ball rolling officially for the NBA offseason. Of course, everything is centered around Paolo Banchero here, who averaged just under 26 points, 7.5 rebounds, 4.8 assists a game. And they have a really young nucleus here. Banchero along with Franz Wagner, Jalen Suggs, but they only played 6 games together and were eliminated in the first round by the Boston Celtics. Many believe that Celtics team was going to go all the way, but Orlando played them tough. Then they made a splash. They acquired Desmond Bane from the Grizzlies for Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Cole Anthony, 4 unprotected first-round picks here. It felt like Desmond Bane, KCP was brought in to be that shooter, to be able to space the floor. And for whatever reason, it just didn't pan out. He didn't have one of his better years. It feels like bringing in Desmond Bane is them saying, no, we're going to try to keep pushing in the chips to build around Paolo right now.
Absolutely, and that's what you should. When your rising young star is showing you flashes that he's ready to win now, he's no different than Victor Wembanyama. Wembanyama showed the Spurs, hey, I want to win right now. The Spurs start going out and making moves. That's what the Magic are doing. They have been knocking at the door. Think about the first season when they put the world on notice. They took the Cavs to a 7-game series, right? Awesome. And then we saw last year, they actually gave the Celtics a run for their money. Yeah. You know, they just didn't have enough firepower because of the injuries. So you start filling in the blanks and you start looking at the Eastern Conference and saying, hey, man, we really got a shot. If Indiana could do it, what's the difference between them and us? We got some hard-nosed dogs on this team, too. Add some shooting and look out for them next year.
I think a lot of people found hope in Indiana's run to the NBA Finals because they looked around and said, okay, we don't necessarily have to have the player. We have to have a collection of really excellent players. Of course, Tyrese Halliburton proved himself in this postseason to maybe be closer to the player than a lot of folks thought. But Orlando's looking for guys who can play right now, Jay, and make an impact.
Yeah, and what Orlando can really do is defend. Desmond Bane helps open up the floor because he can shoot it. They need more shooting.
Yeah.
They need more guys that can make shots because scoring was a problem last year.
Well, let's see if they're going to add one of those scorers to their roster right now. The pick is in. Back to the podium we go.
With the 25th pick in the 2025 NBA Draft, the Orlando Magic select Jace Richardson from Michigan State University.
Jace Richardson, the Big Ten all-freshman team selection, following in his parents' footsteps here, Jay.
Well, talk about making shots. That's what Jace Richardson can do. He was one of the first freshmen to lead the Big Ten in plus-minus since Jaren Jackson Jr. But his strength is shooting, and he's an attack guard. Left-hander. The only problem is he's undersized as a 2-guard. He's not really a point guard, but he's a good on-ball defender. His scoring instincts are what I think set him apart. When he became a starter, he really started to take off for Michigan State and Tom Izzo. He had 29 against Oregon in his first start for the Spartans. And as a starter, he averaged over 16 points, shot over 42% from 3. But he's one of 6 Big Ten players to shoot 50% from 2, 40% from 3, and over 80% from the foul line. Even though he's small, he shoots over 70% at the rim.
Yeah.
So he's a creative finisher around the rim.
And maybe he can get some advice from his dad, Jason Richardson, who played 109 games with the Magic in his career. Of course, Jason was the 5th pick in 2001 after he was an All-American at Michigan State before his 13 seasons in the NBA. And we should mention mom, too. Jackie played college ball, and Jace credits her, actually, with his IQ and his playmaking. So this really runs in the family here, Andrea, which is so cool to see. Oh, yeah, we see you in the Golden State Warriors jersey.
We'll be back. Hopefully the 26, 27 picks will go easy. We'll do the 29th picks tomorrow. That'll be the end of this week. And we'll go back to the MLB draft, which is, that'll probably be 4 hours at least. All right, we're almost back. 26 pick. And after that. All right, we're at the 26th pick. Thank you guys for staying along the journey for the last 3 hours. It's crazy.
Only during the 4th of July mattress sale at Raymore.
It's the 40th anniversary of the draft that brought Patrick Ewing to New York. Now, the Knicks, at one point this was their pick, but it was sent to the Brooklyn Nets as a part of that Mikal Bridges trade that had a whole bunch of draft picks attached to it. Brooklyn is now on the clock here for back-to-back picks. Again, part of the 5 picks that they are making here in this first round. After conversations as to whether or not they were going to keep all of these picks, it certainly seems like they are as of right now. I want to bring back in our front office insider, Bobby Marks here, but they're taking several guards. I'm curious on the future here of Cam Thomas, who's a restricted free agent.
Yeah, it's going to be challenging for Cam Thomas out there. Basically, the only team that has cap space is the Brooklyn Nets. So who are you actually bidding against when you go out, when you're Cam Thomas out there? You can go out and you can take that 1-year qualifying offer with the Nets and become a free agent next year, or you can compromise on a next contract. So we'll keep an eye on what happens with Cam Thomas when we get into free agency.
All right, so that's where Brooklyn's at. Jay, when you're looking at your best available, there's one young man left in the green room right now. We'll see if he is the one that is selected. But right now, I'm hearing the commissioner's almost ready. We've got 10 seconds.
Well, Rasheer Fleming would be next on the board on my best available list.
Let's check in with the commissioner.
With the 26th pick in the 2025 NBA Draft, the Brooklyn Nets select Ben Saraf from Gan Yoshia, Israel, and the Club in Germany.
The Nets fans are loving this one. The 6'6" guard from Germany, but was born in Israel. He began his basketball pro career at 16. What does this lefty bring to Brooklyn, Johnson?
Malika, this Israeli guard is 6'7" in shoes with polished pace, creativity, footwork. He scores prolifically inside the arc, and he has an outstanding feel for the game. Think of an Israeli version of D'Angelo Russell, but with a little bit of a streakier outside shot, a penchant for mid-range jumpers, and some similar question marks defensively. Now, Ben Saraf has some real toughness to him. There was some thought that he might end up being a stash pick, but I'm being told that the Nets are considering bringing him over already this season. This would be their third guard. Ben Saraf, 26, 3 international guards for the Brooklyn Nets.
Ben Saraf from Germany, born in Israel. He was teammates with Noah Esenge. Both of his parents played professional ball here. And again, that's why I was asking Bobby about this trend of Brooklyn bringing in guards. They were still on the clock now here, back-to-back picks, part of the 5. I've said it several times. I think because I'm still convincing myself they're keeping all these picks here, Jay. They got another one coming up. Your best available is who?
Same as it was before. Saraf was 2 down from Rasheer Fleming. But, you know, Danny Wolf is still available, the big guy from Michigan. Liam McNeely from UConn, who's still in the green room. Maxime Renaud from Stanford, the French big guy who averaged a double-double, 20 points, 10 rebounds.
This is one of the hard parts of the draft, is seeing the young men who are still left in the green room that may be expected to...
All right, guys.
There's still some good players available as we get toward the end of the first round.
This is hard. This is one of the hard parts of the draft, is seeing the young men who are still left in the green room that may be expected to hear their names a little bit earlier here on Drea, but it hasn't panned out that way. We still have a couple of picks left here in the first round, but he's having a conversation here with his agent, with his family. Can you just take us inside what those conversations look like? I know you've talked to a lot of these young men.
Yeah, I think it's a brutal feeling having to wait to hear your name called, but we have seen and heard from so many guys that have had success in the league. It's not when your name gets called, it's the fit of the team that calls your name. That is one of the most important things, but this is a tough moment.
It is a tough moment, and look, right now he feels embarrassed, right? And he shouldn't, right? You're in the green room. You're going to get drafted. You just didn't get drafted when you wanted to. Also, it's a problem because, you know, you're watching some guys that may be getting drafted before you that you feel like you're better than, and rightfully so. And so the thing is about getting the opportunity. Once you get your opportunity, once you get your name called, you write the, you remember the teams that passed on you, and you ball out and remind them once you do.
You make me think of Draymond Green, who still 4 championships later can name every single team and player that was picked before him in order all the way into the second round. This is something that he has worn as a motivation. Again, there's still a couple of picks left here, Jay. It's a tough feeling in the moment, but you have to imagine that once they hear their names called, it flips around a little bit.
Yeah, it's unusual for the NBA draft, but I mean, I always go back to football and when Aaron Rodgers had to sit there for all that period. It was a rough night. Worked out pretty well for him. You know, this isn't the end destination. It's really just the beginning.
Right. This is really just the first chapter of a long story that these young men hope to write in the NBA. And you see them checking their phones right now, hoping that they're the next one who's going to see that screen light up with the pick being their name. It's time to get you back to the podium. Brooklyn on the clock. Let's see who they're selecting now.
We have a trade to announce. The Atlanta Hawks trade the draft rights to Derek Queen, the 13th pick, to the New Orleans Pelicans for the draft rights to Asa Newell, the 23rd pick, and a 2026 first-round pick. And with the 27th pick in the 2025 NBA draft, the Brooklyn Nets select Danny Wolf from the University of Michigan.
And you hear that roar? That roar from the crowd is these fans knowing that Danny Wolf has waited hours tonight to hear his name called. And now you see the mix of joy and relief as he shares this moment with his older brothers, Josh, Sam, Jake, his father, Joe, his mom, Tina, who's actually a Michigan alum as well. He
Boston better not
Michigan in 2022 instead of going to Yale first. He played at Yale from 2022 to 2024, then transferred here to Michigan. Came off the bench as a freshman at Yale, started as a sophomore before he ended up transferring. And we have one thing in common. It's not our 7'2" wingspan, but both of our favorite food is sushi.
That is a big-time point you just made there. But Danny Wolf is really a point center, a ball handler and an initiator of offense. You don't say this very often about a 7-footer, but he's a pick-and-roll ball handler. He operated in pick-and-roll situations with Vlad Golden, who transferred in to Michigan. Like, Danny Wolf's a transfer. He played at Yale and actually played on that Yale team that beat Auburn in the NCAA tournament 2 years ago. But working with Vlad Golden, I mean, I don't think I've ever seen in college 2 7-footers run pick and roll with each other, but it was really successful under Dusty May. He had 15 double-doubles on the season. That was third in the Big Ten, only to Derek Queen and Julian Reese. He averaged close to 10 rebounds a game, 2.5 of them offensive. But he's very, very skilled. An excellent rebounder and a very creative passer that can be a facilitator. We talked about him playing at Yale and played on a really good team there with John Poulikitis, the left-hander, winning that game against Auburn. There he is operating in the post where he is very effective, but where he's really effective is a passer. Now, he did turn it over a fair amount. He had 120 turnovers. That was 7 both in the NCAA. But, man, he delivered a lot as well. That's a big-time left-handed pass to Golden there. But really good footwork, just an excellent basketball player that knows how to play. The only thing, he's not an elite NBA athlete, but he gets a lot of things done out on the floor.
He amazes me. I mean, the vision, skill set of a point guard in the body of a center. If you go back 2 seasons ago at Yale, he was a pick-and-roll ball handler less than 20 possessions on the season. This past season at Michigan, he was a pick-and-roll ball handler over 120 times. He completely transformed his game and opened up. And you see his mom so happy, so thrilled. What a journey for Danny Wolf.
Wow. His mom, Tina, the moment that she hears her son's name be called. And Tina is with Danny Wolf, who is with Armonica McNutt.
Well, Danny, strong contingent here. Lots of emotion from the family. What are you feeling?
The dream come true. I mean, it's really hard to put into words. I've worked so hard to get here, and I've had such a great support system, and this right to work, and I hope Brooklyn knows what they're getting.
We heard about some of the support system and your brothers in the feature, but as you see these folks standing right here, what do you say to them?
I'm lucky. They've helped me so much. They've gotten me to where I'm at, and I don't think there's a better support system in the world, and I couldn't be luckier to have better parents.
Tina, you guys are overcome with emotion. What are you thinking?
We're so excited to go to New York. It was what he wanted, and it happened. And hard work, and we have so many thanks to so many people who got him here besides himself, and we are beyond blessed.
What did you see in your son that made this moment come true?
His entire life, he's had a chip on his shoulder to be great. And nothing for this kid has come easy. He's a hard worker, and we could not be more proud to be his parents.
You guys, it's been incredible. Danny, I think we heard your brother is at the table still trying to get himself together. Just so much emotion. It's healthy. I'm glad to see you guys letting it out.
For sure, yeah. I have the 2 greatest brothers in the world. I have an unbelievable sister who I love, and they all helped me get to where I'm at today, and they're going to help me get to where I'm going to go in this league.
In the 2025 NBA Draft, the Boston Celtics select Hugo Gonzalez from Madrid and last played for Real Madrid.
I do want to acknowledge the emotion we just saw from Danny Wolf and his family. But first, let's get to Hugo Gonzalez from Madrid, Spain here, Jonathan.
Malika, I love this pick for the Boston Celtics. I'm told that they are keeping this pick and they are bringing Hugo Gonzalez over right away. NBA teams love the intensity and frenetic energy that Hugo Gonzalez brings every moment he's on the court. Think of a Christian Brown or a Jaime Jaquez type who defends point guards through power forwards and makes highlight reel plays, chasing down blocks and getting in passing lanes. He has strong court vision, he's a transition scorer, and he's a tremendous athlete. The Boston Celtics got one of the biggest steals in the draft here, in my view.
Yeah, you've called him a big-time effort guy. He joined Real Madrid's team at 9 years old. He quickly ascended here. In 2023, he won the Next Generation tournament with Real Madrid U18 here. So it's been quite the journey here for Hugo Gonzalez. I do want to go back to that emotion that we saw from the Wolf family. Perk, you were even getting a little bit misty listening to this family.
Something was in my eye.
Now, don't lie. Don't lie.
I was, though. I was getting a little teary-eyed. I mean, it's a special moment. He's been waiting, and you heard his dad say, you know, the amount he's been counting out all his life, and then watching his brother be so happy for him. That's the best part about it, is watching your family being happy for your success.
And being able to all share it together. Look at his brother. And that's really what it's about. And his mom, Tina, who was so excited, going from these tears to literally leaping for joy in her interview with Monica at just the journey that her son has gone on, and even the journey of tonight, Jay, because again, it is a little bit of a roller coaster sitting in the green room for so long.
No question. And the emotion is really moving. But to go from Yale and to transfer to Michigan, have the year he had, and then have it culminate by being drafted in the first round. What a nice night for the Wolf family.
The 2025 NBA draft. We'll be right back.
All right, guys, I'm gonna head off. I'm really pissed off.
NBA Draft 2025 is presented by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And in part by DirecTV. Stream DirecTV